All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? It's Chris Pickett here, creator of Danse Macabre, medieval horror role-playing. We're very excited tonight. We're going to be playing a short game of Danse Macabre with the wonderful folks of Twice Rolled Tales. With us tonight, we have Phoebe, Linnie, and Emily. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Right at the last second, I was like, somebody's going to say hi, everybody, back to me.
Yep.
I'm glad that it came true. And then, yeah, of course, I'm Chris, and we have with us as well Wythe Marschall, founder of Stillfleet Studio, as well as lead editor on Danse Macabre Medieval Horror Roleplaying.
Hey, what's up? Found the mute button. How's it going? Really nice to be here with Twice Rolled Tales. Yeah, super excited.
Yeah,
So
we're
happy to
super
be
glad to have y'all tonight. We are going to be playing a little scenario that I cooked up based off of one of our settings in Guide to the Abandoned World, which is one of the books that you can pick up right now on Kickstarter for the Danse Macabre campaign that we have going on. Very excited for Guide specifically. We reached out to a bunch of guest authors, and we just kind of filled out the setting of Danse Macabre beyond Constantinople and beyond the kind of like immediate medieval Mediterranean. So we have like the northwest coast of what is now North America, England, Lithuania, Muromachi, Japan, Sukhothai, a bunch of different places that you can explore, just figure out how different cultures and different people from around the world are going to react to the abandonment, the event that has led death to not work anymore, leaving us where we are today. So I think let's just jump right in. We find ourselves in northeast Lithuania. We are in the highlands of the northeast. Nestled away in the highlands, kind of hidden among the forest and the hills here, is a small alkas, a small village, which is centered around a holy site, which is infused with quintessence, the mysterious energy which activates when somebody sings and basically creates this beautiful golden glow of light. And if you are touched by this light as you are dying, you are allowed to die a natural death. Unlike otherwise in Danse Macabre, when most people, they die, they are revived within a few hours with horrible body horror mutations called maleficia. But here in this Alkas, things are fairly safe. This is a small village which is called Ostea. Like I said, it's hidden away in the hills of the highlands, and it is centered around the spring of Ostea, which is a sacred site dedicated to the goddess of bees, the Remuva goddess of bees and community, Ostea. Here in the village, there's a couple of dozen kind of wooden houses, huts, things like that, low wooden palisades that make up fortifications on the outside. As the camera pans around, however we do it in AP stuff, as the camera pans around, you see small kind of subsistence farming gardens outside of each home. The days are filled with people kind of going to and from, heading out of the palisades in order to do some hunting or to gather materials in the woods, or with people farming. But life here in this Alkas centers around the Temple of Ostea, which is a large wooden kind of long house that is built around the sacred spring. From the temple, the chief druid of the Remuva faith here in Ostea is somebody named Grandmother Ludmilla. She's an older woman. She's much loved by her community for her kindness and her just sagacity. She's kind of known as a seer. She's getting up there in years, but she has some folks that she's been training up. There may be an heir apparent. People are very excited for what's going to come next for Ostea. But for people who may not be super excited, have been gathered in the temple, and they are standing before one of the junior druid named Vabalas. This is a young man in his 20s. He seems very fidgety. He seems very nervous. It doesn't really seem like he wants to look you in the eye as he's speaking to you. But he's addressing these four pilgrims, and telling them about a crisis which has occurred in the community. But before we get into that, the camera is going to turn from this kind of small, wiry, fidgety priest, Drury, and it's going to turn on the four of you. So maybe starting with Wythe, if we go in order with our little window order here, who are we looking at? Who is standing here preparing to hear some bad news?
Yeah, I mean, standing behind Devlet, for whom they work, is a skinny, not very old, probably 30-ish, palish person in monastic robes, in gray robes, who has with them a bag with various implements. You can see kind of poking out of it are lots of rolled up papers, vellum, and quills, anything you need backup, like the whole Staples.com in 1390. As well as a military sling, a long sling with lots of sling stones, sort of in a bag on the other side. So sort of two bandoliers, and they seem very quiet and sort of have their hands clasped and just listening, ready to be told what to do. They spent their life being told what to do. The one thing about them as the camera kind of peers in is that you see there's a main head. That's a perfectly ordinary head, not much facial hair, skinny face, and next to it is another head growing out of it that sort of lolls and doesn't really speak, but it seems to react or flicker with recognition in its eyes, and the eyes are, I think, a different color. So the eyes are like a crisp green as opposed to the brown. They're just nodding. They're looking at whoever's speaking and at Devlet. And this is, we're going to call them Silkrow and Pilcrow. They now use two names, even though they only have one voice. Only one head speaks, but they think of themselves as two people. So,
Nice, Silkrow and Pilcrow. Phoebe, who's your character?
So from Silkrow and Pilcrow, we pan over, and Valmir probably draws the eye, not because of any particularly grotesque Maleficia, but based on sheer size. This is an incredibly large man that is, even though he does not seem to be armed with anything particularly crazy. He's got like a knife, a little sling, and yet there is a dangerous look behind those eyes, and he appears none too pleased about being here, but you also don't get the impression that he generally appears any other way.
It's just always scowling.
His the one Malefici you would maybe notice right off the bat is a slightly pig-like nose. You might not catch it at first glance, but if you looked closer, you'd be like, "Oh wait, that's not normal." And just because Phoebe the player is fighting off a little bit of a cold, you might actually be here. The pig nose is supposed to include snorts and grunts in your speech. Stuff may or may not just happen naturally.
It's like you were born to play this character on this day. It's fantastic. All right, we have Valmir, the slightly pig-nosed, hardened-looking fellow. Linnie, who are you playing tonight? Sorry,
Spacebar didn't work
you were
today.
actually muted. Yeah, you were muted.
No, I know. I was searching for the spacebar, which was failing me. Anyway, next to Silkrow and Pilcrow, kind of in front of them, you see sort of a shorter person. They, like Silkrow and Pilcrow, have a face, but it's growing out of particularly the back of their head. And as every time they kind of stroke their mustache, they also reach back and stroke the mustache of the head in the back of their head. There's a faint haze that's permeating the area where they're standing, almost like if they're perpetually smoking, but you can't see any specific pipe that might be coming out of. They are dressed much like a kind of a noble has fallen on slightly hard times, but definitely dressed for traveling. So it looks like they set out with the intent to travel, but maybe lost a lot of their money along the way. And it looks like they used to have a bunch of scholars bags and things that has been stuffed in Silkrow and Pilcrow's bag. Definitely not carrying anything that they don't have to. And they're paying attention to not really what is being said around the campfire, but just like noting down details around that they can see of like, someone, they're like very intently looking at someone making tea in a corner or something like that.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. I would imagine there's some like Drui here in the temple that are kind of like, going about their daily business, maybe cleaning up, things like that. But, like it's, like I said, it's this long kind of wooden, long house. And, there's probably like some woven tapestries and things like that on the wall. So yeah, maybe taking note of the things that you see around you. And then last but not least, of course, Emily, who are you playing tonight?
Yeah, at the front of this group, kind of standing right beside Devlet, you see this kind of like 5 foot on a good day, Eastern European woman, stockily built. She's got this kind of mousy gray brown hair that's pulled back into a little bun, sort of falling out around the edges. She's kind of clothed in sort of commoner's clothes, but with a like scarf that's tied around her shoulders. And then she has a satchel across her chest as well that is filled with notes and little scribblings, and some of them look a little bit half burned, some of them half eaten. And she has a sword strung across her back on the other side too. And you'll notice about her that she has these very large ram horns, and if you were to look down at her feet, you'd also see she has cloven hoofs. And she's standing right in front of the group, like engaging with this Shrui. And what you don't see about Marushka is right outside the wooden longhouse, is tied up outside a 12-foot tall demon with a muzzle and a little leash around it, tied to a little post, and that would be her husband, Chleb.
So, for our viewers at home, so Chleb is a demoniac. He's somebody who has experienced false death too many times, and in the narrative of Danse Macabre, every time you go through false death, you lose a piece of yourself, a piece of your humanity, your personality, something that makes you you, until eventually you are revived as a demoniac, a kind of reasonless, lack of better term, kind of mutant zombie. Marushka has elected to bring along her demoniac husband along with her.
Surprisingly, it only took one shot for Cleb. He was just one shot, one death, got crushed by a tree, didn't even come back with any maleficia. Just boom, demon immediately.
I love that he's so extremely weak-willed that he just comes back as a demoniac instantly.
He always was in life, and he is in demon form too.
It's fantastic.
I'm
cool.
so intrigued by this relationship.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like beforehand that's the reaction?
Like, forget ball and chain. Ball and zombie is, the new thing.
Rope and zombie. Oh my god. Fantastic. Well, like I said, the four of you have been gathered here. I think we have some travelers, right? Marushka is a traveler coming through. So is Devlet, and by extension, Silkro and Pilcro. Phoebe, I imagine that Valmir maybe is more of a local in a lot of ways, and the reason that you are typically sent on pilgrimage as Valmir is because you've got a checkered past. You're trying to make up for it. And one of the ways that you can kind of reintroduce yourself to the society of the village of Ostea is to go out, do these tasks, these pilgrimages. Typically, in order to find some quintessence, you're often sent out to scout for new alkas and to just like run messages between the communities of the Remuva faith. Whereas, Matrishka, Devlet, and Silkro, Pilcro, you maybe hear more on a temporary kind of stay, just going about your business.
Valmir is currently serving multiple life sentences, which is a much realer threat in this world. And so, like, if he dies on a mission, and if he comes back, either way, a life sentence has been removed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a win-win deal.
It's like how cats have 9 lives. You're just like, yes, I got one of my life sentences knocked down by dying and coming back. That's one life over. Good. Oh my
I think we
God.
became friends
I
immediately.
yeah.
I like
I
you.
like
You're
this
not
one.
afraid of death.
And I guess we should say for our viewers, our listeners, why is Devlet specifically here in Australia in the Alcas? And then same question for Marushka. But yeah, for Devlet and Silkrow and Pilcrow, why are you here?
Oh, for sure. So I was also, when we first were starting this game, was very interested in the Constantinople bit of Danse Macabre. So I thought it'd be fun to highlight a character from that. So Devlet is sort of a poet who got very into anti-Ottoman style poetry, and the regime really didn't like that. And so he's been on a quest to go find an audience among the common people who are not in Constantinople and therefore do not wish him dead. Um, and he used to, so he's kind of just on a journey there. Linnie the character, Linnie the player, will attempt to translate some poems from like Turkish Reformation poetry post Ottoman Empire. Uh, we'll see how that goes. My Turkish is very modern, so I think that's a fun little thing in there. We'll see.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice. I love that. And since you didn't ask, no, you sort of asked, but we're just here working for Devlet. We are big fans of translation, and we just found out about Ottoman poetry, and we think it's really beautiful. Most of it seemed to be about one chap killing another chap and taking his land, and then along comes Devlet and just flips the whole table upside down and writes a different sort of poem on it. It's a metaphorical table. They didn't really do that. So signed right up and decided that after I got kicked out for being a heretic, I wouldn't work at the monastery anymore, and I would travel around with a Mohammedan and translate their work into languages I know. And that's how I ended up here, in a place where I don't speak the language. So it's going to be really fun, because I'm going to have to ask a lot of like, what? And I'm going to do it for both of us, even though you can only hear one of my mouths. I'm hearing the other guy saying it as well, so... And he just keeps talking like this until like Devlet or someone is like, please
Yes,
stop.
yes, that's quite enough. That's quite enough. So Devlet has been, Silkrow has been Silkrow and Pilcrow. Excuse me. Yes, I mean, we're very proud of the development of both of our faces. And I think Devlet's face is notably less developed. Like, it is very important that his face is like barely making it through.
Yeah.
He's developed. We're quite proud of the progress that Silkrow and Pilcrow have been making. They've been invaluable ever since the death of my beloved mule. But they've been doing an excellent job. Yes, they carry stuff excellently.
Beautiful. And then Emily, why is Marushka and Kleb? Why are you traveling through the Alcas?
It's really for practical purpose. There's not much research funding to be found in medieval Europe. And for demonology, it's a new emerging field. And so it comes upon the demonologists themselves to go out and find the research funding. And the only way you can find it these days is unfortunately through the church. The church does not particularly like my research. I would like to explore further the process of demonology, how we can continue to explore the life and death cycle, and perhaps, achieve immortality. Wow, we've unlocked it. Incredible. But the church seems to think that by unlocking this quintessence, we can give people their, regular deaths, whatever. I will go out, I'll find this quintessence, I will help people do the regular deaths, whatever. Some people don't like change. That's okay. However, I need the money to continue my research. Paper's very expensive, ink is very expensive. Compensating research subjects so that my husband can kill them and we can study what happens to them after they come back. That is also very expensive. So I am here going from town to town until they kick us out and we have to go to the next one. We've been going for about 6 months now. We started off in my hometown, Olsztyn, which just got incorporated about 10 years ago. But we've been making our way steadily east since then.
Fantastic. That's great. All right, so cutting back from the inner monologues of all of our characters, like I said, you're standing in this wooden temple, and before you is this wiry kind of junior druid whose name is Druid Vabalas. And really quickly, I think the last thing that we'll do here is I'm just going to have everybody make an insight check for me. We're going to see if you've picked up any rumors or any kind of little tidbits from your time here in the village of Austea.
That's a 1.
Okay. You have not been paying attention. You got a 3.
I got an 11. Or
Wow.
we got an 11.
We got an 11.
We do not speak
I don't
Lithuanian.
exactly get the news in prison.
Sure. How about you, Lenny?
And I got a 9.
You got a 9. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think, Valmir and Marushka, you haven't picked up anything. Valmir, like you said, you're being held in prison when you're not kind of out on pilgrimage, so you're not really getting passed along a lot of information. Marushka, I kind of imagine that maybe you're just too intent on your own work and your own research, and studying your undead husband, to really pay much attention to what's going on.
Yeah, couldn't really care
However-
less about the local politics.
Yeah, that's beneath you, really. However, Devlet and Silkro and Pilcro, you've been paying quite a bit of attention since getting to Austea, and here's some things that you've picked up. For one thing, you've heard about the young man who is standing before you right now. Valabas is a young druid, and he is rumored to be Grandmother Ludmilla, the chief druid's heir apparent. He has this faith in the old gods and the remove of faith that is unassailable, but he's not very well liked amongst the villagers of Austea. A lot of people whisper that he's too ambitious and too impatient to take the position of head druid, and that he takes too much delight in bossing people around. Another thing that you've heard about Vabalis specifically is that he's been spotted sneaking out of the village at night on a few occasions recently, and then returning a few hours later under the cover of darkness. And then I think the last thing that you have picked up from sticking around the village is that Ludmilla, Grandmother Ludmilla, the chief druid, she's always been known as a reliable seer. She has these visions. Most of the time, her interpretations of these visions kind of, more or less come true. And it may be because it's a little bit vague, a bunch of different reasons for it. But she's pretty reliable as a seer. But lately, the villagers have been saying that her visions have become increasingly inscrutable and bizarre. And many in the community are worried about her advanced age. She's in her mid-70s, which is pretty advanced for the time and place. And yeah, they're worried that her age is starting to get the better of her and that she's becoming increasingly confused. Lately, in particular, she's been observed pacing around the village, kind of muttering something to herself. And a lot of people have heard her muttering something about the patterns of the tree that she keeps kind of saying to herself under her breath over and over again. So yeah, that is what at least the two of you know kind of coming into this situation. But like I said, you're standing in front of Vabalis. He looks very nervous. He looks like he doesn't really want to be doing this, but you've been called here to go on a pilgrimage. And he goes on to tell you, the reason that I have called you here today before me is it's not a happy tale. A week ago, Grandmother Ludmilla disappeared from her quarters in the night. We've been trying to find her on our own, just the druid, but we've had no luck. We can't find her in the village, and we are not equipped to go further afield in order to find her. After searching her quarters, we were able to find a map. And I'm going to see if I can present this map. I'm not sure. Do screen share.
Map.
How do I do this?
Map.
Is it happening?
It's happening. You just give it a second. There you go. Wow, what a great map.
Map.
I mean, I could probably punch up that map
Great,
if
simple
anyone.
map.
I'm saying this to people who presumably don't speak
It's
English.
not much of a
or
map.
Turkish.
Oh, the simplicity, the
It's not
line
much,
work.
it's
This
not
is
much.
true artistry here. Pilcro, take notes.
Oh, all right. Take notes. Draw shittier maps. Done. I think I can just memorize that one, boss.
So, what's his name? Vabalis, he says, after searching Ludmilla's quarters, we were able to find this crude map that she had scrawled out. And, if you can see up here, these are the highlands. They've kind of figured out that this is the starting point. This is actually where Austea is kind of roughly located in the hills of the highlands, northeast Lithuania. And the map leads all the way south to this symbol, which I think, Valmir, you would recognize this symbol. This is a symbol of the removal of faith, and it is the sigil for the world tree. So it's much like, the world tree in kind of Norse faith. It's this idea that it's like a bridge between realms, all this kind of good stuff. The roots go down into the underworld. The branches connect all of the different realms of the worlds. But yeah, so it terminates at this symbol. And he points out this kind of like long forking line here. He says, we believe that this is the river Neris, which is just to the south of where we are standing. We do not know where Ludmilla has gone, but this is our best clue that we've been able to find after kind of turning over her quarters. And, he turns kind of to each one of you and he says, I know that each one of you have your reasons for being here in our Alcus. And he looks at Valmir and then like quickly averts his eyes. He's like, Valmir, I know that you have your sins to atone for, and the rest of you are here traveling, but we need your help. We need the help of hardened fighters. We need the help of travelers in order to bring Grandmother Ludmilla back to the village. In particular, he seems worried about her, but he also is like very anxious to like get you out the door and to kind of like not speak on this any further. But essentially, he asks you to follow this map south to the North Fork of the river Neris and to try to find whatever this location that Ludmilla has pointed out. Whatever it is, or wherever she is, but just to find her and to bring her back. He and the other Druid believe that she was planning this trip for some time and for whatever reason didn't say anything to anybody, just kind of left again in the middle of the night. And yeah, she's been missing for about a week at this point. And yes, yeah, I think, like I said, he's anxious to get you out the door, right? So he's like, well, I suppose if you have any questions for me, now is the time, but the time is wasting. She's an old woman. She's been out there for a long time. We need to find her. We need to bring her back. What say you?
Yes. She's been out there for a week and you haven't gone after her and you haven't sent anyone after her. My only question is, what is in it for us? How will you make it worth our while?
Oh, well, it would be within my authority as a druid to promise you a true death when your time comes. As
Not
is
interested.
Our custom.
Oh, I'm really quite determined to develop my face. That really doesn't have to draw. Yeah.
Can you do better?
Well, you choose when the time is appropriate for you to have a true death. I mean, we will sacrifice you to Devas and the old gods. And you will not be revived. But in your old age, if that's when you choose to take us up on the offer, that's up to you. You can develop your faces, I suppose, as much as you would like.
My good man, I think what this excellent woman is suggesting is that perhaps a bird further along down the line is not as valuable as half a bird now. I'm really developing that phrase here.
I see. Yes.
Yeah, she's on a bird kick.
The well-used phrase.
It was something about tigers at one point. A quarter of a tiger, the same as 3 ducks. But now it's... Anyway, you get the idea, right? They get the idea? I don't know if they understand
I just
what I'm
think
saying.
3 stripes of a tiger is evocative. Like 2 stripes could be grass. 3 stripes, you're dead.
I agree. People
I
just
still
don't know what tigers are. They just draw them like dogs.
I just think they should learn.
I think if you're having this exchange in English...
Cannot believe none of you worked out your payment before you got here.
Well, this is what we're working it out now.
Oh, right. Sorry, boss. You wanted money, right? To be able to buy all the things we need to travel and understand the common people. We need to be rich. And you're no longer as
Oh.
rich. Are we right? I'm sorry if I'm
Excellent point.
misremembering.
My good man, can we have money? Is there an exchange of goods and services? Because again, the true death doesn't pay for the true life now. Oh, I like that. Can we write that one down?
I do like that
Of course,
indeed.
start jotting that down. No, that's a good line. That's a banger. Yeah, I think he's kind of taken aback by this. I think he would have expected that you just would have done it either out of the goodness of your heart or for the promise of the true death. But he's very fidgety. And he says, I mean, yes, I can promise you some silver, but we're a poor village. We don't have much to offer. But I don't know how much we have on hand, but I can scrape something together. And if you're able to bring Ludmilla back, then whatever we have is yours.
Falmir's gonna kind of like just snatch the map of scrap out of his hand and be like, "Look, bringing the old lady back can't be a guarantee. If the old bat's crazy enough to think she found the world tree, she's also probably not sane enough to keep herself alive out there."
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. But even if she is lost,
I'm
to the
just
curse
saying,
of
I don't want to
death-
bring back a corpse and have someone tell me I didn't fulfill the terms of my work release.
Well, she's
Even
very
if
likely
you-
alive. It's just in what state.
Yeah.
Is there
he
perhaps
says,
a lure
even
we
if
could
even if you
use?
bring her back as a demoniac, then you will still be rewarded. We will be able to put her to
Right.
rest. We will be able to bury her. We just need her back in any shape or form. Whether it's alive and well, that's obviously desirable. But if she has become a demoniac, or if she has found a way to die naturally out there in the wilderness, just please bring her back in whatever shape or form.
These are acceptable terms.
Boss?
Do we
It
agree?
makes sense, I think, from what I'm
I-
piecing together.
Well,
Are the
I'm
rest of you
thinking that-
done quibbling about payment, or
It does feel like that we could auction off, a true death. Maybe there's a bit of an exchange. I travel, we find people to truly die. There's something there. I'm sure we can work. And anyway, feeling invigorated by
onto
the idea of
something.
adventure. And maybe I'll die. And I'll get,
Yeah.
start to work on the head. So I think either way, yes, let's go forth.
Yes, my friend, just a note for future pilgrims that you might be employing. The promise of a true death does not mean as much to people who are excited to have unlocked immortality.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Now, please, off with you. And yeah, again, you can tell he just wants to get you out the door. He does not want to continue on this conversation for whatever reason. But yeah, okay. So, promise potentially of some silver. You get a true death that you can do whatever you'd like with. I suppose you can find a way to like trade it or sell it to somebody. We can always try that for sure.
I do like this auction off idea. This is very smart.
and they
They just
call
said a
me
true
the
death doesn't
murderer?
necessarily have to be our true death. That's all I'm saying.
Like if somebody wants to take it, then they can take it. I'm just saying I'm definitely interested in it. But I'm interested in the silver that may be gained from it.
Yes. As
Nice.
as we're walking out, I think I want to turn to Valmir and say, "So, if you don't mind, I'm compiling. Could you tell me about your sins?"
Yeah, Valmir's gonna tell you in great detail. So, have you ever
Go on.
personally borne witness to the sound a man makes when you stab him in the back?
No,
Is
I
that
imagine
what you'd
it's loud
expect?
and fanciful, like really an explosion of the vowels, a scream.
See, not
to raise hell.
at all. It's more of a gasp where the air is just kind of being shoved out of the lungs, and the body doesn't
Fascinating.
even know what's happening to it. But at a certain, but the sounds kind of become irrelevant once that's happened, because then it just adds like gives an extremely detailed description of the way he skinned and dressed a man and left his body hanging from a tree as a point one time.
Marshall like starts to interject with like some medical fun facts and stuff, but then as soon as she hears that like you had skinned a person and like hugged from a tree, she just kind of like drops back to the back of the group and just starts scribbling some notes.
Mhm.
Everybody falls awkwardly silent at that.
Yeah, Devlet's like, well, this suddenly became less fun about halfway through. But true to himself.
So as you're being regaled with tales of flaying from Valmir, is there anything that you would like to do before you leave Ostea, before you leave the village, and head south to the river Neris?
How long do we think the travel will be? Is it like within a day's
Oh, good
travel? Is it
question.
like multiple days?
Yeah, it's like a day's walk, basically south
Okay.
from where you are at the moment.
We all have like enough like food and stuff to get through that.
Do we get a sense why the rest of the village hasn't sent out rescue parties if it's really only like a day's walk away? Like, why are they waiting for us as pilgrims to go? Is there a sense like they
Yeah, I
know
mean,
something
you know,
we don't, or is it just
Is
that
it a really?
dangerous
It's
and
just
they're
like a really dangerous path.
and they just want someone else to
It's
die?
just-
Like, what's the?
Yeah, it's just generally dangerous, right? Like most of the people that are living in this village, they're small folk, right? They're peasants. They've kind of lived in this area for all their lives and haven't really like ventured very far out. Like I said, there's some like hunting and like gathering, like food and material from the forests nearby the village. But yeah, I mean, most of these people are not like experienced in travel or experienced in combat in any way. So that's why they're kind of turning to people that are already traveling, and then also Valmir, who is probably the most violent person in the village, to go out and to complete this task.
Probably.
They don't really pull me out the clink till they're desperate.
I mean, someone's, I guess, got to be jailing you, right? Like, there has to be someone larger than you to keep you in check.
It's like
Or
several
something.
men have to watch Valmir. There's like guards just to watch Valmir. It's like everybody
Yeah, it's like a
else is
drain on the
pretty good behavior.
resources. Like it's better to give Valmir something to do that's productive. Probably the same with us. They're trying to get rid of us.
I think maybe the reason it took so long to get me here is because they've had to send me. It's like the village prison's not big enough, so they had to send me to like the state prison.
Which is just the wilderness. Just the demoniac infested wilderness. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do a little bit of shopping if you got an ESP or if you want to pick anything up. I will say, maybe as you are leaving the temple, one of the Druid under Vabalis approaches you and gives each one of you a small flask that is holding some of the spring water from the sacred spring of Ostea here in the village. So if you want to mark these in your inventory, drinking this spring water, it tastes kind of sweet, kind of like honey, and actually acts as a theriac elixir. So if you drink it, you regain 3d4 pool. And I think, she would kind of like... Yes.
Game-wise, if we're at max inventory, this is one additional inventory?
Yes, this would be one inventory. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Slot.
What are you dropping, Wythe?
I think you see Silkro and Pilcro very politely just take a torch out of their bag and just like set it on the ground near a Lithuanian person, like, to you, this torch. And then take the water and like make sure that they still feel like, okay, great, I could still do military things and mechanically not roll at disadvantage. That's how it works in the game. It's an old school game. It's supposed to be like limited inventory. So
Valmir is going to pick up the torch and put it into his own inventory.
Double torches.
Double torches.
For you, my friend. And then you're just like, yoink.
Yoink. Who's going to stop him?
Well, Valmir's Lithuanian, right? So, that worked perfectly.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, let's move it along. Just being mindful of time here. So we're going to say it's early morning when you're kind of called into the temple. So you're setting out as the sun is still kind of rising in the east. You get a good head start on the day, and you leave the village. There's kind of like a southern gate in the wooden palisades that fortify the village. You are let out through the gate, and you're able to follow these kind of like rough paths that lead south throughout the hills of the highlands until it kind of opens up into a larger valley as you're traveling. I'm going to have one of you, doesn't matter who, although I would suggest the person with the highest insight score, make a navigate check. So this is you're just going to roll insight, and we're going to see basically how long it's going to take you to get to where you're going based off of this roll.
So I don't have super high insight, but I do have an automatic +7 to tracking.
+7?
So, I don't
That's
know.
incredible.
I don't know if this counts as that.
Who would have put +7?
Is Grandmother Lovemill's scent on the wind?
Yeah, I think we have to get closer to track, maybe, Valmir.
Yeah, we need to get a little bit closer to track.
Okay.
I don't know. I have a D12 insight. No special abilities for navigation, but can read a map. This is a pretty simple map, guys.
It's a pretty simple map.
It is incredibly complex. Simplicity is often the hardest thing to capture the essence of the whole.
Right,
Truly
you're always
work
saying
hard.
simplicity is complex. It's true, Devlet. It's true.
I think it's
Sometimes simplicity is
deceptively
simple.
complex.
All right, do you want me to roll a D12?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I'm going to roll a D12. That's a 4 on a D12. Sorry, everyone. Shouldn't have rolled. Devlet is like
Rough.
crying lost in the woods right away. This is not home. These are different trees. They don't look like the trees in England. They don't look like trees in the drawings of Turkey. I mean, Greece. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say, Silkro Pilkro, you're not from the area, and it is a very simple map. So simple, in fact, that it doesn't mark out the boundaries of the massive primeval forest that takes up most of the valley that you're in. So after walking for maybe 2 or 3 hours or so, you get out of the hills, and you're kind of following Silkro and Pilkro's lead. Because Silkro Pilkro is like, this map, easy, I got this, no problem. And then immediately, once you get into kind of the early stages of this massive, very dark pine forest that takes up this valley, you're almost immediately turned around. And for a couple of hours, you find yourself kind of walking around in circles. You come back to the same tree stump a couple of times. You're like, this can't be right. But yeah, you lose a good bit of time. And let's see, what's going to happen here. Yeah, you lose a good bit of time, and it's now kind of getting on to early afternoon. I'm going to have everybody make another insight check for me, just real quick, apropos of nothing.
That's a 5.
Or
6. The old make a check and don't say why.
That's a 3. If this would count against a bonus or if this would count as an insight check against being ambushed, that would be a 5. Either way, it doesn't really seem like that matters with a 5 as the max.
Well, what I'll say is, so yeah, the four of you, you're kind of walking around in circles. You're a little bit lost. I think eventually you do finally get your direction back, and Silkro Pilkro, you've got 2 heads. They are better than one. And as you're kind of finally getting a sense of direction, kind of back in order, which way is south again. This is a very dense kind of forest canopy. It's harder to see the sun from where you are. It's hard to orient yourself that way. But you're starting to get your sense of direction back, and you notice that you're actually being followed. And it seems like these 2 men who are following you seem just as lost as you are. And maybe, Silkro Pilkro, whichever one is the non-dominant head, I'm assuming Pilkro, notices some kind of chatter from behind.
Mm.
You hear some twigs breaking. You hear someone like doing the loud whisper thing. It's like, no, you idiot! They're gonna spot us if you don't be careful. You have to watch where you're stepping. And the other one's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's hard. I don't know where we are anymore.
I'll also say Mariska's probably taking up the back of the group, so it's her and just the giant hulking form of Kleb.
The giant hulking demoniac, yeah.
Just to protect us from the group.
Is Kleb like, I don't know, domesticated? Is he chill? Is he cool? Like, how does he react to like being let around?
Muzzled.
Like,
like he's a dog. He's very anxious, but he's okay when he's out and muzzled. It's like his security blanket. But if I were to take the muzzle off, could not control him in the slightest.
Gotcha. That is terrifying.
Just doing
so
the
yeah,
full
what I'll
show
say.
Walking Dead over here.
Yes. So yeah, Silkro Pilkro, you notice these two, like, for where you are in the world, kind of Western-looking scouts. They appear to be wearing kind of like light gambesons. Each one of them has like a short bow on them, as well as like a long dagger, almost a short sword at their side. And you do notice that on their, so like over their gambesons, they're wearing tabards, right? And I just want to make sure I have the symbol correct here.
Oh, there's a symbol.
Yeah. And on this tabard, it's like a white tabard that kind of like goes over their gambesons and then has like their kind of belts and stuff that's like tucking it in. But it's a long white tabard that hangs down the front and back of their outfits. And on it is emblazoned a black, kind of what I think we would call these days like an iron cross. And I think that you're a well-traveled couple of guys. I think Silkro Pilkro, you would recognize that these are two scouts that are associated with the Teutonic Order, the order of largely now German knights and soldiers. They're kind of Christian mercenaries who have a presence in Lithuania. They are working to secure quintessent relics as well as alkas for Christendom out here. And, I think you would know they've had some skirmishes with the Drui and with the local Remuva people. But yeah, they're still at a distance. I think they are just as lost as the four of you, but they are attempting to track you. And Silkro Pilkro, you just happen to catch these two out of the corner of your second face's eyes. What would you like to do in this instance?
Quietly walk back and tell the party, of course. I do think, it's the non-dominant head, as you said, but they're not named. Our names are Silkro and Pilkro, and our consciousness is distributed. We wouldn't say, I guess we'd say our Aristotelian spark, our essence is distributed across our animal body. So the fact that we have two heads is no more interesting than an animal having two hands or a tiger having 3 stripes. For some reason, the boss is always on about 3 stripes. I don't know why. But yeah, no, I go back and just tell them immediately that so they're following us through the woods. We're lost and they're also lost. Okay, great.
Yeah.
How far back are they?
Oh, they are. I'm gonna say maybe 30 or 40 yards away. So not like a massive distance, but just enough where it's enough tree cover obscures you from them.
Okay.
And following around lost people, they themselves have become lost and have they've lost track of where you are in the woods.
Having been told of their presence, could I very loudly announce that I need to take a piss, walk a little bit into the trees, wait for them to kind of pass by, and then just go grapple them?
Yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely.
I gotta rock one.
I mean,
just walk into
Mirko.
So are
approach
you
to things. I thought we were going to discuss
to...
whether we're going to kill them, but I'm all down with just jumping these fellas. Sounds great.
Just do it. Are you trying to like sneak up on them? I mean, you're like loudly announcing that.
It's more like I just like waiting for them to kind of get within range-ish. Of like, it's like, all right, they're nearby enough where I can kind of just like, jump out and then like, roll a grapple to just snatch them up.
Absolutely. So so I will have you make a finesse check really quickly to see if you can get close to them without them noticing so that you can ambush them. And I'm going to roll
well,
insight.
That's going to go poorly. Ah! 3.
Is it worse than a 1? Because, oh, well, great. Fantastic. They rolled a 1 on a d10 for insight.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's what you get. You trust the Teutonic God.
That's what you get. That's what you get for trusting the Abrahamic God.
I just want to make like unarmed attacks on him, and like I want to get like see if I can't get each like one of each, just sort of like headlock under each arm.
Hell yeah. I think you're able to approach, and like I said, this is a very dense forest, but you're able to get up close to them without them noticing, very carefully stepping over twigs and like the kind of like fallen pine needles on the ground that you're kind of trudging through, make a nice like soft surface so you're not making a lot of noise as you're approaching. You're able to we'll say there's like a large kind of fallen tree stump that you're able to just like slightly crouch behind, and it like perfectly hides your form.
Just to really sell it, I really do take a piss.
just for the hell of it. Yeah, what do you roll for?
That's an 11 on that grapple.
Okay. Yeah, so they're nearby. They're starting to move again, and let me pull out. Yeah, I mean, there's no way that they can beat that, especially because they have disadvantage, which is very funny. Yeah, no, you if you want to narrate how you pop out, I think they're just kind of walking by, like they're just trying to get their bearings again. They're trying to figure out what's going on. And where they are in relation to the party. They have not noticed you whatsoever. You're just behind this tree, and you bust out. What do you do?
I think I finish pissing, and then as they are, as they kind of walk past my hiding spot, I just sort of like get up, circle around behind them, like walk very casually behind them for a few paces until I'm within range, grab each of their heads, bonk them together, and then just scoop them each up, like one under each arm, and sort of like drag them over to the rest of the party.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
Oh, bravo.
Especially with an 11 on a vitality check. Yeah, you got them. So yeah, you're able to like snag them both. I don't remember, do you have any Maleficia like bone spurs or anything like that does damage when you're grappling?
I mean, I have the scrapper feat, which means I'm very good at like unarmed attacks, but I don't know if that's like an automatic thing or if I'm like can choose whether or not I'm doing like damage.
I mean, in this instance, it would be if you were doing just a normal unarmed attack and not trying to grapple somebody, then you would apply bonuses based off of scrapper for that. But in this instance, you're just holding them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got
at any moment I could choose to squeeze, and then that would be a thing.
Yes, yeah,
right.
That would definitely be an attack for sure. But you've got these two fools, these two scouts. I mean, these are like young men, right? They're probably like no older than 18 or 19, something like that. Kind of bottom of the barrel for the Teutonic Order. Really more just mercenaries more than anything. Like you can tell from the way they're dressed and everything like that like they're mostly just
green
sellswords, right? Yeah, they're green. They're sellswords. And as Vex says in the chat, you're applying your cuddling trait to them. So you've got one under each arm. You've got them like headlocked under each arm. you pull them back to the rest of your party. What do you say? And how do the rest of you react to seeing your friend who just went off to take a piss coming back with 2 young scouts under arm?
Got him.
Marushka is so pleased. She's going to draw her cleage from her back and just immediately walk up to them, all 5 foot of her, and just point it in both of their faces and say, "Who are you? Why are you following us?"
They're terrified. They're completely terrified. Like, they did not expect to be ambushed. They didn't expect to get dragged over here by the scruff of their neck. And now this like 5 foot tall satyr woman is pointing a blade in their faces.
Speak for his
and you can
please.
tell, like, they're just like wide eyed, right? They're like, what is going on? And yeah, I think, one of them is going to be like, what, and the other is going to speak up and be like, we were ordered to follow you. We're just following our orders. Please don't harm us.
Who ordered you to follow us?
Oh my God, my brother Knight Needhart. He wanted to know where you were going. Please don't hurt us. We're just trying to make money.
Well, so are we. Why does Brother Needhart care where we go or what we do?
We're here to find the Alcus. We're here to find quintessence. We need all of it that we can get. Please don't harm us.
Can I make an insight check?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like I imagine
what are you trying to
6.
be insightful about? Nice.
Just
what are
like
you trying to figure out?
see if he's like telling the truth, or if there's like some other kind of nefarious aim.
Yeah, I think with a 6, you can tell that he is at least partially telling the truth. When he's talking about like, oh, we have to find quintessence, we have to find these Alcus, blah blah blah, this kind of stuff. Like, he's being honest about that for sure. Mm-hmm. I think with a 6, like, you get the sense that when he's saying that this brother knight Needhart ordered them to follow you, you get a sense that there might be something more to that.
Mm-hmm. Where did you come from?
We followed you from the village, from Ostea. We followed you out the gates.
One I should squeeze.
But I'm from Ravensburger. I don't know.
Did we see them as we left? Like, between the 4 of our heads, did one of us see? Because I feel like that the knights would have stood out in this tiny village. Like, did one of our 4 heads see this happen?
It feels like these aren't local boys for sure.
No, these definitely are not locals. These are like dudes from what would now be Germany, right? So like the kind of various states of like the Holy Roman Empire, all that stuff. No, you didn't notice them as you were leaving. But like I said, this is a heavily forested area.
Ask them why they were heading around the village. Have they been staying there? It seems very much like they would not be welcomed. Why were you in the village? You should, like, from a distance, absolutely out of range of any of this.
Yeah.
Just like go a little closer to my sword. What business did you have in Australia?
Well, we didn't go into the village. We wouldn't be welcome there. We were waiting outside. It's where Needhart said that we should be, and that we should follow any travelers who head south.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you this right now. Our business for leaving, not your business. If you are looking for Alcas, that's not what we are going to find. So you are following the wrong people. You are wasting your time.
We're just doing what we were ordered, ma'am. Madam.
Yeah. That's too bad. And what if you do not follow your orders? Do you leave us alone? We go out and do the rest of our pilgrimage.
We would be executed by the order. If we absconded from our duty, we would be punished.
Alternative is squeeze.
Yeah, it seems like either way, my friends, there's one way out.
Yeah, they have found themselves in quite the pickle, haven't they?
So you choose. How would you like to die today? And perhaps we'll see you on our way back.
I think the other one that was stuttering before starts to like weep a little bit. It's like, we don't want to die. We don't want to die. We'll leave you alone, please. Please, we'll tell them that we lost you, please.
All right. Listen, I've died twice already. It's not so bad. It is not as bad as people make it out to be. Maybe you get cool horns like me. Maybe you get a second face like these two. You never know. It is just another state of being. That is all.
Or maybe we'll turn into one of those. And he like points at your husband on the leash. He points at
Eventually. He's still my husband. He's still Gleb.
Do we know for sure they're telling the truth? Is there any way to like, can we roll insight to be like, wait, are they just lying? I mean, they seem, if they're young, they probably don't know anything, but.
Yeah, you can, give me an insight roll to see if there might be something more that they're not saying.
I don't want to do extended like torture scene, but just like good cop, bad cop. Like, I don't know how much we can all communicate with them, but whatever Valmer says, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she'll let you go. Maybe, probably not, but I mean, you know, you never know. Like, there's always tomorrow, unless you die and become a mutant zombie. I got 6.
Got a 6, okay. I'll say... Yeah, if you're for your good cop roll, if you get a 6, you notice that the one that hasn't been speaking as much is kind of like kind of blubbering at the beginning there. You notice that he keeps like looking down a particular path. He keeps looking south into the woods as though he's checking for something. And he's kind of like held his tongue. He's not saying anything, but you just notice Silkro and Pokro that it seems like he's waiting for something to happen as he's just kind of like sitting there getting his head squeezed.
I explain what I'm seeing in real time.
Sure.
Here's what I am thinking, gentlemen. If you are thinking that you go back and you say that you lost them, you have derelict on your duties, you get executed there, there's still a chance that someone else comes tracking us and we run into more trouble later, and you get executed there either way. Or you get executed here and you have not derelicted on your duties. That seems like a better outcome. You die either way, but this way at least you maybe stay in the better graces.
Choices.
No, we are not.
Doesn't seem like this is much of a choice. I don't know what to do.
There's only one way out, and it is death. But you get to choose who kills you. But I think for our sakes, probably better if we do it.
Well, I mean, you are the ones that have them in a headlock and have the sword in their face. So I think the choice is kind of up to you in this moment.
Yeah. Velmia, would you like to squeeze?
Quick, turn away.
I mean, if it's on the table, I'm ready to squeeze.
Devlet turns away and like turns Silkro away and puts a hand over Pilcro's eyes.
If we're sure there's nothing more we want to like grill them about.
Yeah, is there anything else?
You can ask them more.
I'm gonna wander over about, to the direction that he was looking. Like, that seems like if we're about to get attacked, I just want to like be the lookout, if that makes sense. While the head squeezing, I don't want to see the head squeezing. Neither of us want to see that.
Makes sense.
It's turned sideways for you to not be able to see the head squeezing.
Oh my god, I rolled terrible damage.
That's okay, I'll aid you. Or
I'm not actually going to make you roll damage for this.
For the record, my unarmed damage. Oh wait, what was that, Chris?
I'm not going to make you roll damage for this. You have them in a headlock. Like, they are very much like they're just choking. You're just choking them, right?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And so
squeeze.
enough time goes on. Like, maybe they fight back a little bit, or I mean, probably a lot of it at this, right? So they like fight back, but you. I'm going off that 11 that you rolled earlier. Like, you've got them in such a solid headlock that they are not able to get out. And yeah, I mean, up to you, but either they pass out or they die. Up to you as to how long you want to squeeze for. You can just put them into submission without killing them.
Yeah,
Beck says this isn't This isn't combat hard. It's just murder easy. So yeah, up to y'all. I'm not going to force the issue either way, but
I think the line on choking someone out to like make them go unconscious versus kill them is much thinner than most of our media would have you believe.
Sure.
So it's squeeze, head, pop, boom.
Okay. All right, great. We'll veil this a little bit. After a few moments, they go limp. They're probably dead. And you just drop them. They just fall to the forest floor with kind of like a dull thud onto these.
He's not going to try and drag it out by by being like, oh no, just go to sleep a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I think as we kind of dust ourselves off after that, Marushka's gonna rustle in her little pack and pull out 2 little pamphlets called "So You've Died Your First Death: Unlocking the Secrets to Immortality," and just kind of place them on their bodies.
You're like, I sure hope these boys can read.
With contact information for her lab back in her hometown.
You are a freak, lady, and I'm into it.
I think we could work very well together in the future.
Send carrier pigeon too. All right. Well, all of this is happening. The murder of 2 young men, Silkro and Pilcro, and Devlet. You've walked away a bit. You're walking towards the direction that one of these boys was looking at, kind of nervously, expectantly, and I'd say walking on a little bit. We'll just like fast forward it a little bit. If you kind of follow that direction, you go a little further deep into the woods. You are still heading kind of south along the North Fork of the river, kind of leading to the point that was marked on the map, from what you can tell. And, as you're kind of moving forward, the forest is largely very silent, right? You can hear some animals running through, you can hear some bird call, wind kind of going through the pines, all of your good, normal forest sounds that one would expect in a dark, primeval forest. But as you kind of move further south and you get further into the forest, you start to hear the sounds of, like an encampment. You hear men kind of like laughing, joking with each other, or otherwise yelling and fighting with each other. You are able to hear kind of like the dull clang of metal being moved around. And eventually the forest kind of opens up a little bit in front of you. And you see that there's a clearing that opens up. And inside of this clearing, there is indeed a camp of what appear to be Teutonic knights. So there's about 30 men who are kind of milling around. Some of them are like setting up tents. Some of them are starting like the evening meals. It's like afternoon at this point. Others are kind of polishing and repairing equipment, arms, armor, all that kind of good stuff. And in particular, there's one like very large man who seems to be kind of observing everything that's going on, occasionally giving out orders. And you can even notice from like quite a distance away, right? Like it's very easy to see him kind of towers over everybody. And in particular, his left arm is this incredibly long, thick, ursine arm. It's a bare arm. That you can tell that his armor that he's wearing is like a chainmail hauberk that's been kind of modified to allow him to wear it even with this like massive hairy arm that's like covered in this like thick fur, and almost like touches the ground as he's walking. It's just disproportionately long and massive on his body. But yeah, like I said, he's dressed up, he's got a hauberk on. a little bit more knightly, a little bit more stately looking. And in spite of his maleficium, he carries himself as though he is in command of these men. So yeah, like I said, you're kind of in the shadows of this dark forest. There's this kind of like medium-sized clearing that's opened up in front of you. There's this encampment. I don't think that anybody in the camp so far has noticed your presence, especially if you hang back a little bit. But yeah, it seems like to move further south into the forest, you're going to have to find a way either through or around this area.
I think I immediately grab Silkrow and Pilcrow and like duck behind a bush on the path, so we're like we can chat without being seen. So like we're explicitly putting an extra layer of cover behind us. So that seems we should probably go around to that. I mean, I'm sure they are fine, upstanding, but if you remember the thing that happened back 3-4 villages ago, I'm not saying I'm not popular with certain members of a certain religious organization, but I'm not saying that I'm not popular with certain members. I would never go as far as to, put something upon them. But we maybe should go the other direction.
We should go the other
also,
direction.
Given what happened 3-4 hours ago.
Are you guys? You're not.
Yeah,
here.
y'all
You're
are
still
like
popping
still
them like a
murdering.
pomegranate, right?
I think what's happening right now is really the big issue. But yes, also just in general. I mean, why don't we try to navigate through the underbrush? It might be difficult, but physically possible if we're quiet to sneak around. Although we should go get the others post haste.
And we have to go around, right? Like this is an obstacle directly in our path, right? Essentially.
Yeah, if you want to keep heading kind of south along this fork of the river, that more or less leads you directly to where the mark on the map was. Then yeah, you'll have to find a way around or through. Up to you.
Can we see if does it seem like Grandma L has made it past them? Essentially, there's no obvious prison hut that kind of thing.
Great question. Yeah.
Is she here?
Really good question.
Or if we keep going, did she slip around? And can we figure out how she slipped around? Perhaps by tracking her?
Oh, great question.
At this point, might be relevant.
I would say yeah.
Use a big nose.
Make an insight check for me, Devlet, and we'll see if you can spot anything specific.
All right. Okay, and can I?
I'm purely focused on not being ambushed and also ghostwriting Devlet's next poem about the quiet pines of Lithuania.
Okay. I rolled a 10.
10, excellent. Yeah, so
and that's my max
if you...
for insight. Is there a thing that happens when you roll your max die for insight? I can't remember. In the grid system, is it just a flat roll?
Yeah, I mean, if you roll your max die, I can't even remember my own rules right now. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart.
You gain 1 grit back, right? In Danse Macabre?
Yeah, you regain 1 grit. Yeah.
Okay, I'm at my max grit, so it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, just
but
a 10
otherwise, yeah, when you roll max on something, yeah, you gain 1 grit back. If you're rolling for damage and you roll the max on something, then you can burn 2 grit in order to re-roll that damage die. But otherwise, yeah, you just gain 1 grit back.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, yeah, no, with a 10, I'd say, yeah, maybe you kind of peer through the bush. You've got a pretty good line of sight on everything that's going on at camp. Maybe this clearing is down a little bit from your position, so you've kind of got a little bit of elevation and kind of see everything. You do not see any kind of prison or any kind of hut or anything like that they've put together to hold. These guys are armed to the teeth for whatever reason. They have more weapons and armor than it seems like they really need. Just out here in the forest, even with the threat of demoniacs, even with the threat of brigands, anything like that. It seems like they're over-prepared for the situation, and it's unclear as to why. But yeah, you can definitely tell that Ludmilla has not been captured by these people, So either she got to where she was going before they got here, or she was able to find a way to sneak past them somehow.
And the camp does the camp seem a few days old, or have they been building it out for like a couple of weeks? Like, what is the
good question?
Timeline
Yeah,
of
I
the
think
camp?
yeah. Again with
Like, how big are the
I think again
latrine
with your
pits?
insight roll, they're not very big. They're not huge latrine pits, which definitely tells you that they've really only been here a day or two. It
Gotcha.
seems pretty fresh. I'll just leave it at that. It seems pretty fresh. Like the tents were probably just erected within the last couple of days. It doesn't seem like they've been like entrenched here for a very long time. Things aren't quite dirty enough for that. There's like road wear and stuff, of course, but not, like that kind of mud and just kind of general grime that comes from being in one spot in the woods for several days, if that makes sense.
All right, so we definitely should engage in a very heroic and careful retreat to get important information back to the people who actually can deal with this. It's important to learn your place in the greater world, and as artists and scholars, is to not get killed by that. He's going to start backing away.
We're already like 30 feet away from you, kind of like nodding from behind a tree.
Incredible.
Cool. Well, what Phoebe and Emily, what are Valmir and Mariska doing after popping some heads and seeing your fellow pilgrims kind of over by a bush going?
Yeah, I think we're kind of hanging back. We're the larger members of the party, and if they are being small and hiding in the bush, it's probably not better for us to be out front and be seen.
Yeah. Marushka is one of the larger members of the party?
Well, no, Chleb is.
Oh, yes, of course. I keep forgetting about Chleb.
He goes everywhere with us.
I feel like Valmir is just having a little bit of a moment, like Valmir and Cleb are eyeing each other up, just like.
Cleb is just standing there, like docile, just kind of staring right back at you without any kind of expression. He's got the muzzle on, so he knows that it's time to be good.
He's like shaking just a little bit.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's right.
A little bit of anticipation of violence.
Yeah. He's got like little pustules around his body that'll just kind of ooze every now and again.
Ugh, gross.
Narcy.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the report.
do you want to regroup, report, kind of figure out your next move from there?
Yeah, I think we're kind of
What's-
waiting for
what's it
them to
gonna be?
come back and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I think we're all together, right? And we're trying to now decide we need to go south. So, let's navigate through the underbrush. Right? I mean, we don't have a choice. We don't want to fight Teutonic Knights.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
How many of them were
Fighters.
There are about 30 in this camp.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah,
I do feel
quite a
really
few.
good about our decision to kill those two guys because if we hadn't, there was a chance that we could have ended up in there. That would have been worse for probably all of us.
Yeah, agreed. Although
And
they will
as-
come back. Funny thing.
Yeah, as long as we are fastest, it's less of a problem.
As much fun as I think it would be to release Cleb into the camp,
Yes,
seems like
it
we
does
should
seem like
keep that in our pocket for a later date.
it does not seem like all of us, side-eyeing Cleb, would have perhaps free passage to the camp, even if we were able to diplomatically explain our presence there. So perhaps it's best we find a way around. I think I'd start looking for that, but I don't know if Phoebe, you feel this is an appropriate moment to track. Does it work? Like, what's the range?
I would say I'm no longer clear on that because I was like, immediately I'm gonna find this woman's trail, and then y'all were like, nope, not yet.
I mean, I would say, like right by the village, maybe not appropriate. Now that you're in the forest,
Sure.
I would give it to you if you want to make a tracking roll.
Okay, make a tracking.
We can see if you, if you pick up anything whatsoever that might lead you in her direction.
That's a 12.
Wow, That's wild.
It's a
Pig
5
nose,
plus
pig nose,
7.
Pig nose.
Pig nose, pig nose.
That's truffle hunting
yeah,
right there.
The pig nose only actually gives me +1. The other +6 comes from the tracking feet.
Right, and yeah, you
Don't
burned,
tell us
you
that.
burned,
It's a magic pig
burned
nose. We don't
your,
need to know details.
and you burned 3 grit for that power, correct?
Yeah, let me see. Yes, burn 3 grit.
Okay, so yeah, you burned your grit. I'm gonna say yeah, with a 12, what a roll. In this instance, you start looking around. You start doing your truffle hunting routine, and you do pick up on a familiar smell. You pick up on the smell, not necessarily of a person, but like the sweet smell of the sacred waters of the spring back in the Alcus. And kind of like looking around, rooting around a bit, you find kind of hanging off of like a thorny kind of bush, like a holly bush, or those grow on trees. Anyway, there's a thorny bush. I don't know what kind it is because I'm not super familiar with the plants that grow there, but just bear with me. And hanging off of one of the thorns is like a little shred of white woolen fabric. And I think, Valmir, you would know that this looks like the shift that, or not the shift, the kind of robe that Ludmilla typically wears around the village. She's kind of always wearing this like very plain but meticulously kept white woolen robe. And yeah, there's a piece of it that's been kind of ripped off as she was moving through the same woods that you're standing in now. And I think with that, yeah, I mean, you've got the scent. You can kind of tell that she actually, following along this trail, she actually went straight through where this camp is standing now. But basically, you can tell that, yeah, if you continue following the river south, it can lead you right to her. And I'd say, like, from here on out, in terms of finding her, there's probably not any other rolls because you did so well on that tracking roll. But
I
yeah, you
use
can
my
tell
knife
that
to kind of
she
like
is-
snip the branch that the thing is hooked on off, like get a good whiff, stick it in my pocket.
Yeah, that's
Follow
the
me.
good stuff.
This is
Nice.
fascinating. Makes a little note.
And okay, so you've got the trail. You know which way to go. You're going to be able to find her fairly easily, given the clues that you've been able to find. What do you want to do about this camp? Are you going to try to sneak around? Or are you going to try to just bust through?
Oh, we're
I think the
absolutely
intent
not
is
going in.
sneak around.
Yeah,
Especially if the
we're-
river's there. Like, if we can sneak in the river. Like, whatever the...
That sounds
If we
cold.
are following the curve of the river, could just
Yes,
probably
true.
get in.
Yeah. What?
Plus,
Emily,
if they've got any
specifically,
dogs, they
what is-
won't be able
what
to
is-
catch her scent.
Oh, that's true. Emily, what is Marushka going to do about Kleb?
Trying to figure that out. The good thing about Marushka is she's actually very fast. She has 100 speed, 100 feet
Mhm.
of speed, compared to the rest because of her hooves. So she can go like very fast. So I think she kind of might like blitz in front of whatever route we choose, and not try to like stay with the group if possible, and just try to be like
Gotcha.
out of sight as quickly as possible.
Gotcha. Okay.
You
And
can't
then,
really
yeah, I mean, I guess
hide Kleb.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm going to have everybody make a finesse check to see if you can sneak past. But otherwise, yeah, we'll have to figure something out for Kleb. Is it a thing
I'm
where, like,
probably rolling that with disadvantage for him.
yeah, I would think so. And actually, I should have asked before. Did you work up like a stat block for him, or do you want me to just?
I
give him
didn't. I
some
was wondering
random-
if you had one for just like general demoniac.
Yeah, no, I got you. No worries.
Cool, amazing. Yeah, like I'm happy to roll for him for this, but
I am giving him a very low finesse score.
yeah, that's so fair.
because he's a kind of big, monstrous guy, right?
Hulk and meatball.
Big old hulking meatball. Okay, so he's going to have 14 health and 10 grit. And yeah, I mean, if you want to, I can treat Kleb like an NPC and do the rolls, all that stuff. Mostly because I don't want to read out the
sounds great
on screen. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I think if y'all want to try to make your way down the bank of the river and then get in the river and try to kind of like sneak around this encampment, that works. But I'm just going to have everybody make a finesse check for me to see how sneaky you can be.
I'm going to burn 3, so you got D8 plus 3 for good old S&P.
I rolled an 8 on my D8, which I think means that I get grit back.
Yeah, I also rolled an 8 on my D8.
Great.
I got an 8 on my D10.
Grit. Wow, nice.
So there's nothing I can burn to add to my roll, remind me? If I don't have any powers that are associated with...
Yeah, you can burn 3, 6, or 9 grit for any roll to add a flat 3, 6, or 9 bonus to that roll.
Okay.
And typically you would declare it before you make the roll, but for this it's y'all's first time playing, so we can do it.
I would have done it before, for sure. Anyway, knowing this rule, if that makes sense, because I have a D6 in finesse, and I rolled a 1, so I'm gonna burn 6 grit.
Okay.
To make that a 7.
Gotcha. Let me think real quick. So on a natural 1, even if you burn grit, you still fail the roll, but something does happen. So I would say if you want to burn 3 grit in this instance, it basically, like in the rules, it ensures that like something good happens, but there's like kind of a mixed consequence, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I'll burn 3 to get up to 4 then.
Okay, cool. Sick. Okay, so you're able to kind of, place yourself along the bank of the river. You're kind of like on the north bank of the Neris. And the embankment kind of goes down a little bit. It's kind of gravelly, sandy into the river itself. And Valmir, Silkro, Pilkro, and Marushka, the 3 of you are really easily kind of able to pick out your path and navigate down without kind of any incident. The ground is kind of soft and crumbly beneath you, but you're able to keep your footing. Whereas Devlet and also Kleb have a little bit of a harder time getting down. I almost imagine, like, because they both rolled pretty badly on this one, I almost imagine it's like Kleb tries to keep up with you, Marushka. He's trailing behind. You've got the leash. You're moving fast. You've got your cloven feet. You're like literally hoofing it, right? And I think Kleb is struggling to keep up. So he's like kind of running, being a little bit louder, and maybe there's like some slack in the line on his lead, and then just like at the last second, it like snaps and actually trips up Devlet as you're kind of making your way down. So
you see,
Devlet,
you must walk with grace and poise in every aspect of life. It's important to portray the voice and heart of a poet.
See, I think the 2 of you and Kleb, basically like get tangled up with each other and kind of like somersault down. Because you burned the grit, I'm gonna say like you don't splash into the water, right? Like you're able to kind of land like just before you hit the water. Rolling in the dirt. I do think that in this instance, mostly because of Kleb's bad roll, not because of your roll, Linnie, it is going to alert the camp to your presence. And from the riverbank, you can't quite see, they're off a distance a bit, but from the riverbank, you start to hear men kind of yelling, being like, "What was that sound? What was that?" And you can kind of hear that like they're like people are picking up their weapons, they're picking up their armor, people are kind of like scurrying back and forth. And as you make your way up the river, you notice that some more of these kind of like younger scouts of the Teutonic Order are kind of searching along the riverbank. And they do end up noticing the four of you, well, the five of you really, as you're kind of like trudging up through the river. And they're going to start, they're basically just going to start like yelling to their comrades to get over here. Like, we found them, we found somebody, we found somebody trying to sneak past the camp, you got to get over here. I'd say, there's probably a couple of seconds before something happens, but what would the four of you like to do now that you have been spotted? You're like in the river, trying to sneak past, didn't work out. What's your call?
I feel like I want to look at everyone and be like, okay, are we bluffing or are we fighting?
Can we run?
Can we run?
Is that an option?
Oh, yeah.
It seems like no.
I think we're trying to run.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Let's run.
Let's run. Big run.
I also want to use my atmokinesis to burn 3 grit to produce a thin haze covering a radius up to close range around your person for up to 10 minutes. Anyone with this haze gains +1 to defin checks to dodge.
Very good, very good. Sweet, yeah. So you burn your grit. You kind of reach down within yourself, whatever this looks like for you personally, and yeah, this kind of like fine, misty haze like emanates almost like out.
I think I blow it out like a smoke bubble, like a smoke ring. Like, this is very much like
vape competition.
I think this was the first power that I think this was the first Maleficia that Devlet got once he died.
Mm-hmm.
And so he for a while was just concealing it by like bringing a hookah pipe along with him at all times, and just and it just stopped working when he was in the city once he got out of the city.
Yeah.
But he's gotten really practiced at like tricks with the smoke for sure.
So cool. I really am just picturing like vaping competitions from like 10 years ago that people were doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because he's like he's an internal pipe. He like has gotten banned from like competition. People are like, that's Devlet. He's full of shit and hot air. You
can see the hot air coming out of him. Very nice. Well, yeah, you've obscured your position, right? And this haze kind of follows you wherever you go. So yeah, anybody kind of immediately around you benefits from basically just a little bit of cover, a little bit of extra cover. And yeah, as you summon this haze around you, you can hear above you from off of the riverbank, you can hear like the pounding of feet, like people are running towards your position. So I'd say, yeah, if we want to flee, I'm just going to have everybody make another finesse check to see if you can kind of like book it out of there before you are caught.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna burn another 3 grit.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 1.
Oh, come on, Valmir.
That's a 3.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 9 with that extra
should
3.
Can I also burn 3 grit to keep something really terrible from happening? Is that how it works?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Okay.
So we're just gone, and the other, everyone else is fighting the Teutonic Order. Is that this is great.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah, I'm gonna say, Silkro and Pilcro, you're able to like book it, and you break away. You've gotten far up the river before you realize. One of your faces out of the corner of the eye realizes that you are the only one who has been able to successfully flee from this. And looking back, you see that your 3 comrades and one of their undead husbands have been surrounded by Teutonic soldiers.
Question, Chris. Do we know that we are close to where we think Ludmilla would be, or do we think we're still a ways away? Like, are we in the general area, or not even?
Yeah. No, you're in the general area at this point.
Okay, great. I picture that Silker Pilcro slide down the mud onto a log and are floating Huck Finn style, and realize that Devlet is not with them, and neither are the Europeans. And I just start like howling for Ludmilla in like my best, like whatever Lithuanian words I know, I'm saying in Lithuanian, like Ludmilla, grandma, cheese, you're welcome. And I'm just trying to get someone's attention who's not like
Say cheese.
as a religious zealot, executioner, swords person.
Sure.
Sorry, go back to
No, yeah, I mean, yeah,
Does-
you start floating down the river screaming cheese in medieval Lithuanian, and grandma, and thank you, and you're welcome. Where is the library? I don't know.
Thank you, Grandma Cheese.
Thank you, grandma cheese.
If you Google what was the medieval word in Lithuanian for cheese, there is a Quora article about a kind of cheese called oshpicek or something. So I think I'm screaming Ludmilla, oshpicek, etc.
Ludmilla, I've lost my passport.
Yeah.
Where is the bathroom? Where is the...
I was trying to think of where's the library? Phrasebook phrases. That's awesome.
I am 24 years old.
Yeah.
I am
That's so
from
good.
London.
I'm from London. I'm 24 years old. Where's the bathroom? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say, you're floating down the river. You're screaming for Ludmilla and cheese and other phrasebook phrases. As your party is being surrounded. I'm gonna say the three of you and Kleb are you're not like bound up or anything. However, you're like at spear point, right? There's like several men around you, 10 or 15 men around you who like have you surrounded, and you are marched up the riverbank into.
Before we get, can
the
I
camp.
have so like as we are being surrounded, Kleb is off leash, right?
He's
Like,
off leash, yeah.
He's off leash.
Yeah.
He's off leash?
So he's not unmuzzled, he's off leash, right?
Okay.
So like he's still tamed, he's just not, you are not obviously holding his leash, right?
hmm
So I think I want to start, like, the second I see we're fucked and we're not getting away, I want to start, like, screaming bloody murder, and as soon as we see people being like, oh, thank God you're here. Do I speak any German? Like, whatever, like, the equivalent of, like, being like, thank God, Jesus Christo, like, whatever is, we are the Christian God, we are pro that, like, that's what I'm yelling at people. And I'm pointing at Clegg, being essentially trying to convey, thank God you're here, we've been chased by this thing, and like deflect onto Clegg.
That's pretty good. Make a fervor roll for me. We're going to see if you can convince these folks. And remember, you can always burn grit to add to rolls.
Yes. It's so Bluster, you're using throwing your weight around to get what you desire. Whenever you make a roll to resist, vitality plus fervor / intimidate check, you can burn 2 grit to reroll a signal die used in your check. So that would count, right? I could use that for this?
No, that would not count in this instance. So that's to resist that.
Right, got it.
An intimidate or a charm check, yeah.
Okay, I am going to burn. I do this at dis. So do I also? So I'm an apostate. So are they technically marked as clergy? But they're not my clergy. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any of these marked as clergy. No, I mean there might be like a priest or a what are they called?
A chaplain. There's probably a chaplain somewhere around.
Yeah,
but most of them are soldiers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I give you the assist action on this?
Oh, totally.
It'll boost your roll by 1, I think, right?
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna burn 3 grit for this roll then.
Okay.
So that's math. I can do math. No, I can't. 8.
All right, you got an 8 total.
Oh no, that was me figuring out how much grit I have left.
Gotcha.
I got what is a 6 plus 3 plus 1, 10.
10. Nice. Yeah, no, that is an excellent roll, especially with what I collectively had them roll to resist, which was a 1.
Yay! Didn't need any of that. Incredible.
Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, no, I think these soldiers immediately just believe you, right? They see Kleb, they are like, oh shit, a demoniac, oh my god. Um, and I think I mean I don't know how Mariska's going to feel about this, but they're going to turn on Kleb, right? They're basically going to like take their spears and their swords that they have out, and basically just like turn to surround him, kind of like letting the three of you move off to the side a little bit. And you can see that they're kind of corralling Kleb. They're kind of forming an encirclement around him. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think they're sufficiently distracted by the muzzled demoniac. I think some of them are kind of confused and are just kind of like following what the others are doing. But yeah, no, they've kind of turned their attention away from you, at least in this one moment. And as they are kind of like rallying around, you know, I'll let you do this thing in a second, but you see the bare armed commander approaching your position, and he's kind of yelling, "What's going on over here? What's happening?"
Oh, can we understand him? Like, he's presumably speaking German, so like, are we, who can understand what's happening?
I think that's a good question. I would assume that, you know, if y'all are travelers, probably like Silkro, Pilcro, and Devlet, you would probably be able to pick up on at least some of what he's saying.
I'm originally Polish, so maybe.
Yeah, I think you would be able to pick up some German for sure.
Great. We're neighbors.
Yeah. American statement. Thanks, Vex.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, so yeah,
it's funnier if no one speaks the same language, but yeah, probably hard to do the AP.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to do the AP. Yeah, it's a consideration.
Well, we were talking about the accuracy of cheese here, so I'm happy to communicate in grunts and hand gestures if we think of that to the verisimilitude of the moment.
No, I'll come out on the side of Valmir does not speak the language.
Like medieval Lithuanian only.
Yeah.
No Polish, none of that shit.
Words are for morons too stupid to understand pictures.
Hell yeah. Nice. Okay, so yeah, this commander's coming up. I'm assuming that Silkro Pilcro is still kind of like floating down the river away from your position. Kleb is surrounded by these soldiers. What would the three of you like to do in this moment?
Question. Do we know what happens to demoniacs after they're killed? Is that their like final death?
No, they come back again.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got no allegiance to Kleb. I am just doing a little back away while they are distracted.
Yeah, I don't think this is probably the first time that this has happened, in some way, shape, or form. So,
I imagine it's very hard to travel
like,
with a demoniac.
It's really difficult. Like, you gotta just have some layer of like, well, it might happen. You gotta have some sort of travel insurance. And so I think like Mariska will kind of just surreptitiously take a little bit of her like scarf and one of her daggers and just cut a little bit of her scarf off and like drop it on the ground and then just be like, oh no, yes, save us from the demoniac, it's out of control, wow, oh no, and just kind of hide like beside her behind Devlet.
Okay, great. I mean, yeah, they already believe that like this is a dangerous demoniac. And you know, like, yeah, the commander comes up and he kind of like looks at you and then looks at Kleb and this like encirclement around him, and he like grabs one of the soldiers by the collar and he's like demanding to know what's going on here. He's like speaking in probably like Prussian, right? And just like really dressing this guy down. But it, you know, at least for the moment, nobody's kind of paying attention to what the three of you are doing. I think they're a little bit more concerned about the giant demoniac that has shown up kind of out of nowhere. Phoebe,
I would love to fully
Valmir
just kind
still
of
has the scent.
Oh yeah.
If we can disappear, like, absolutely would love to continue to run away.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I think in this instance, they're pretty distracted, trying to figure out what's happening, trying to figure out what's going on. So I would say,
we're still encircled with smoke for sure.
Yeah, I think if you still have like the haze coming off of you, then yeah, I mean, like, whatever, it's a defense mechanism. You got scared by a demoniac. That's why there's haze coming off of you. Of course, it wasn't because of the soldiers. That's crazy.
No.
Yeah, so I think in this moment with this like huge distraction that Cleb has made, go ahead and make another finesse check for me. This time I'm going to give you guys advantage because you've got the haze, you've got the distraction from Cleb. So you're going to roll twice, take the higher. Let's see if you can reconvene with Silkrow and Pilcrow.
Ooh, 6.
9.
6.
That's
9.
a 2.
That's the higher?
Yeah.
That's the highest. Jesus Christ.
I have good finesse is the crazy thing.
You're just rolling very poorly.
Just rolling terribly.
Oh my god. Well, do you want to burn any grit to get those numbers up, or do you want to take the 2? We can go either way.
I mean, how much is it gonna fuck us over? I mean, all right. How many grit would I have to burn to get out of this situation?
I honestly, if you burned 3 and went up to a 5, I think that would be enough in this situation.
Okay. Ooh, we're running low.
What's your grit looking like?
2 out of 10 left.
All right.
If you can
Yeah,
connect
so
with
can I.
Silka and Pilcrow, they're like a healer in terms of build, meta game wise. Like all I did is buy a bunch. I have a sling and sling stones, but I also have a ton of healing stuff. So I can help.
Oh, I also
and you would
I'm
know this,
remembering
I think.
The spring
character.
water can also be used to like recover.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very
You
powerful.
can always use the spring water that was given to you.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, Wythe is right. It's very, very good for regaining grit. It's 3d4 if you consume it. And it's just a standard action to do that. So yeah, you can definitely regain grit if you need it. Which I would suggest. But okay, let's see what happens. So this is what I had planned anyway. We're going to say this is what goes down. So the 3 of you begin to sneak away. I think, Valmer, you are the least sneaky, at least just in this instance, right? Maybe you're a bit distracted as well. And as you're kind of moving away, you end up making a little bit too much noise. And
I am so large.
So large. You're so much like Riddick from the Chronicles of Riddick. Chronicles thereof, like Wythe said earlier. I think that was off camera, so anybody listening or watching
we haven't
now,
gotten into that.
Yeah. Imagine Riddick. It's Valmer. You got it.
Big old medieval
to
sunglasses.
I like to imagine you shaving your head with a piece of scrap metal, just like in the movie.
I did specifically include. I bought the grease in my inventory thing. So that I was like, I have knife, I have grease, I could do the whole scene.
No.
I'm sorry I said that. I should have waited for you to do it. I didn't know. I didn't know you had the grease. That's so good. Okay, these soldiers, like I said, there's about 10 or 15 of them out of the 30 total. So there are some that are hanging back, still in the camp. But there's a ruckus going on, right? A demoniac has shown up. These random people who were being chased by the demoniac were there, but now they're not. I don't know where they went as you were kind of like fleeing into the forest to the south. And this is what I had planned anyway, so I'm going to force the issue on this one. The soldiers are making such a ruckus. They're like really calamitous. They're just like, there's clanging, there's yelling, there's like jostling, all of this stuff. And then from a distance, I'd say as the 3 of you kind of like sink into the woods and trying to keep track of Silkrow and Pilcrow, you start to hear just like really wild screaming, like the sounds of people in battle, sounds of people being torn apart. And as you look over your shoulder, you notice that Cleb is not the only demoniac that's now in this camp. These soldiers have caused such a stir, created such a commotion at your presence and Kleb showing up, that they have actually attracted a horde of demoniacs that was in the forest into the clearing. And you see, if you look back over your shoulder as you're exiting the clearing, you just see a wave of mutated bodies like crashing into the camp. Tents are being torn apart. Soldiers who were like unprepared for any kind of combat, they're like scrambling for their weapons, but they're not able to get to it in time. And you just see these Teutonic Knights being ripped apart by this massive horde of demoniacs that's just pouring in like water into a basin into this clearing. Immediately, the commander of these guys with the big bear arm, who you probably have put together, is Brother Knight Needhart, starts giving out orders in Prussian. He's just like screaming at all of his men, trying to get them to rally, trying to get them to put up a defense. And he looks over at the three of you as you're kind of like doing the Homer Simpson into the hedge thing, into the woods, as you just like sink away. So completely unintentionally, you did create enough of a stir to create your own distraction, as these soldiers just kind of turn and start to try to like fight off this wave of demoniacs that is kind of crushing down on them at this point. And I mean, it creates enough distraction, you just get away from it.
Yeah. I think as this is happening, Marichka like turns back towards the camp and like sees this, and she just like tears up a little bit. She's like, "Oh, I'm so proud of him. Look at him. He's made friends. Making such destruction. Making all these new friends for himself. I'm so proud." Have to tell us all about it back at the town.
Incredible. Linnie, Phoebe, you got anything for this?
I think Devlet sees Valmir is like, based on Phoebe's reaction, I can only assume Devlet is like, Valmir is like, yeah, that person's great. And just being like, I'm stuck with these two people. Where the fuck is Silkro and Pilcrow? And trying to book it.
Now that we've outed the Riddick of it all, I'll full on lift up my sunglasses, just watch all the demons flood in, and mutter quietly to myself, "Beautiful," and then I'll be on my way.
You're such an anti-hero. It's great. All right. Well, it is not hard to catch up with Silkro and Pilcrow because you hear them yelling in Lithuanian about cheese and Ludmilla. So I'd say, Silkro, Pilcrow, you're on this log. You're kind of doing a little river log flume ride, like you're at Six Flags. But it eventually washes up on the shore of the bank of the river, and you're able to meet back up with these three who are able to find you just by you like yelling for Ludmilla.
So Ludmilla does not show up, is the vibe I'm getting from your narration.
She has not shown up. No, she hasn't appeared out of anywhere.
Is this like a waiting for Ludmilla type situation? The people want to see Ludmilla, right, chat? Right, chat, fam? We all want to meet the grandma, magic grandma. Sorry, go ahead, Chris. Yeah, no, I'm stranded. The log was ashore, and then I'm just sort of sitting on the log, sad, until I see my boss and new Eastern European friends. So.
I missed the goodbye montage for Kleb. It's like slow-mo, him just like ripping apart Teutonic Knights.
That's my man.
Great. So, you're able to find Silkro and Pilcrow, and I think as soon as they kind of stop yelling, you get far enough away where like the sounds of battle, the sounds of men screaming and demoniacs screaming back at them, and like people being torn apart and all that good stuff. The forest creates enough cover where that sound kind of fades away a bit. And I'll say, Silkro, Pilcrow, as soon as you stop like yelling out, you kind of get caught up on what's going on. Again, Valmir has the scent of Ludmilla. And Valmir, I'm going to say that like as you get further south down the river, that scent becomes more intense. Like you're picking it up on the wind. It's just kind of like coming to you from a southerly wind that's coming up along the bank of the river. And yeah, I want to be mindful of time. So if you follow the scent, it just takes you a little bit further south, right to the bend in the river where the North Fork meets the kind of main body of the River Maurice. And as you get further away from the Teutonic camp, you can hear just kind of like in the air, very faint, very minuscule kind of sound of somebody singing. And looking around the forest, if you try to like locate the source of this song, you do notice a little bit like to the west of where you currently are, there is like a kind of soft golden light that's coming from somewhere in the forest. So yeah, I mean, you have this kind of faint song that's in the air. You notice this light just a little bit to the west of where you are. You're very close. And Valmir, you would know, like the trail is hot, right? Like you're right on top of where the mill could be.
Yeah. What like how late in the day is it at this point?
It is getting into the late evening at this point. So
Okay.
the sun is kind of setting. It's getting dark out, and so like
Good.
yeah, this light that you're able to see is just that much more kind of apparent because of it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll head towards it.
Okay, great.
I'll kind of like
So,
give
yeah,
a little
you-
signal to everyone else to be sort of like, you know, approach with caution.
Yeah.
I think I do. Do we want to above the table take a moment to heal / rejoin some grit?
Yeah. Does anyone need anything? I'm not really down that much, so if anyone
Yeah,
wants
I'm gonna chug my
have-
spring water.
Chug.
Yeah, I think I'll do that as because we each got a spring water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll do that as mine as well. It's
No one needs
So, yeah,
extra.
each
I'm
one
at
of
full.
those-
it's
Yeah, so it's 3d4
3d4.
cool, which means that you're going to roll 3d4, and then you can split that total between your health and your grit, whatever is appropriate.
oh, I love that.
You know, I'm just going to drink from my water skin, reflecting on being on the
Just
river,
get some
but
grit.
not sure how safe that water is to drink, and get 2 grit back.
Very
I'm
nice.
back at full grit. Nice.
I'm back up to 8.
Fantastic. Yeah, you hydrate. Your skin
Hydrate or dihydrate.
immediately glows.
We do our Korean beauty face masks
yeah.
in the
Take some of
woods
that
in Lithuania.
grease and
Yeah.
put it on your face. Like, this is the closest thing we have.
That's the one, yeah. Just, it's like, is it like tar or like pig fat? We're just like rubbing pig
think it'd
fat
be
on
like-
our faces.
It could be like pig fat, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goose fat. Great. So we
She's been
feel,
out here a week already. She can
We
wait a
feel
couple more
good.
minutes
Yeah.
while we free ourselves up.
Yeah, we gotta look
I
good
do that.
for-
I do that thing with it where it's like you create a little tornado in the glass, and so that when you turn it upside down, it just kind of all goes.
Yeah. Like a Korean influencer.
You
That's awesome.
gotta pop the top.
Yeah, great. I mean, yeah, no, you feel hydrated. You feel good. There is something special about this spring water. You can't quite put your finger on it, but yeah, it has like a faint taste of honey to it as you drink it. And yeah, you just feel replenished kind of from the inside out. You know, you drinking and walking at the same time, so you're hydrating, walking, and eventually you find the source of this glow as well as the source of the song that you've heard. And basically what you find is a just massively tall and thick, like old growth, ancient pine that, you know, must have been around for 1,000 years. This is a massive, massive tree. And you notice that at the roots, it's kind of like sitting on a bit of like, you know, like a very short cliff. And some of its roots are kind of like hanging over the cave mouth that goes just beneath the tree. And you can see this kind of golden glow is kind of pulsating from within. It's not very strong, but it seems to be reacting from the voice that is coming out of this cave mouth. And you can hear that it is it's the voice of a very, very old woman who is singing kind of like lullabies to herself inside of the cave. And I'm assuming that you would want to go in and check this out.
Yeah, I think that's a
I
safe
think you would
assumption.
assume correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So yeah, I mean,
guys.
you make your way.
Yeah, no, actually, I
fuck
just want to go. I want to go back to the village. Actually,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, with game we saw
This seems
slowly
lame.
here.
yeah.
go
Let's
hang out
turn
with
I'll
around.
let
Clubs.
them know.
Yeah, I think we actually
Should
should
we go find
rescue club.
Club?
I think this should actually turn into
yeah,
change of heart.
yeah.
Let's go all rescue club. Yeah.
All right, let's go.
He's probably good.
So in the cave under the cool tree.
Yes. In the cave, underneath the tree, you find a, it's a natural cave it's just kind of basically like one chamber beneath the tree. There's some water running through there, and in the very center of this kind of like rounded cave chamber is an altar that has been carved out of like the native rock of the cave. So you can tell like the floor was much higher at one point. It's kind of like carved down around this altar. And resting against the altar is grandmother Ludmilla. It's a 75-year-old woman. She's wearing a kind of tattered and torn woolen white robe, kind of tunic situation. And sticking out of her chest, she has two arrows that are kind of protruding out of her chest, and the entire front of her tunic is stained with a dark red but dried blood stain at this point. And you can see as she's kind of like resting with her back against this altar, her arms are down by her side, kind of limp on the ground, and she's just like barely emitting this song. She's like barely still able to like keep her concentration up. And go ahead.
I say, are the arrows Lithuanian or are the arrows Germanic?
I think you would be able to tell that these are they're Germanic. These are like definitely the kind of arrows that like the Teutonic scouts would have had on them, for instance, right? So you've seen these earlier in the day. But yeah, she's kind of like laying back, barely able to continue singing. And you notice that she has gained a ton of maleficia. I think especially Valmir, you would know this, like before she had left the village, she had no maleficia. She had never experienced false death before. And now looking at her, you can see that she has, much like Marushka, she has cloven, hooved feet that are kind of coming out of the bottom of her robe. One of her arms has been transformed like fully into this kind of large, writhing tentacle. She has like a bunch of extra eyes kind of arrayed across her face and neck. So you can tell that she has died here several times over. Either from her wounds, of her age, or some combination of the two is most likely. But yeah, I mean, she is dying, and it seems like she's trying to sing herself into a true death and kind of failing at doing that before the moment. And as the four of you walk into this cave, she kind of weakly notices and like moves her head over and just says, "Oh my, somebody has come for me. Finally. Will you please help me, my children?"
Oh dear.
You're not looking so hot, Granny.
Mariska is going to run up and immediately just use the aid action. And I'll use the Chirigen feat. Using the aid basic power, I'm going to burn 2 grit to heal the target for an additional d6 pool. So it'll be 2 pool plus the d6. So that will be another 6 pool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I will add that up for her here.
While Mariska has no problem with people dying, she has a problem with people suffering. And it's clear that this woman has been suffering here for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say, with the chirurgeon power and all of that, like you go and, you can kind of like look at her arrow wounds and maybe like get her cleaned up a bit, get her feeling a little bit better. I mean, she's still deeply wounded, and I think, again, like she's a much older woman, right? I don't think that she was really prepared for this journey that she went on, and definitely wasn't prepared to be shot. So she's still looking a little bit worse for wear, but you can see that like the light comes back into her eyes a bit, and she like looks you in the eye and thanks you profusely for helping her out, and yeah, she basically is just looking at you and she says, "Oh, thank you, my dear, thank you for aiding an old woman in her time of need, but it is my time. I must pass on. I must be reunited with Devas and the old gods. I cannot stay in this world any longer." And yeah, I think, she basically is just like, "Please put me to rest here. This place has great power. You can let me rest here. Please put me upon the altar and sing me to sleep."
We can certainly try. It doesn't seem like your attempts have been very successful, unfortunately.
I've been trying to sing for myself, but I keep losing my voice just before the moment of death. I keep coming back because I can no longer activate the quintessence for myself, my child.
There are some people back in your village who would very much like to see you returned, and I'm sure that they would be happy to give you the true death there if you were to accompany us back as well.
Oh, I don't know if I can make the journey, but yes, I must see Vabalas. I must see that dear child. He's so alone in this world. He lost his parents, and I raised him from a young age, and yes, I must guide him. I will try to come back.
Great. If you can wait a couple hours, we have a lovely demoniac you can ride on the back of, so you would not need to walk the entire way.
I can also
I'm
just
sure
give
you
her a
wouldn't mind.
piggyback.
Yeah,
We also
yeah.
have
I think,
a lovely human you can ride on the back of.
yeah, I think she would probably argue that she doesn't really have enough time to wait for Club, wait for the demoniac to come back.
So has she
yeah,
just
I
changed
think-
her mind from wanting true death to wanting to come back? Like,
Well, she
does
wants
she
to
seem
come
like
back
she's
so that she-
waffling?
No, she wants to come back so that she can receive a true death at her Alcus and see Vabalas
Say goodbye to
at
loved
least one
ones.
more time. Yeah.
It's not like she's not currently in the only place that can happen.
Right. No, she just
Right.
needs
So she could, like-
quintessence.
Yeah, we can go back and like she can say her goodbyes and then they can.
So we just have to get her
Yes.
past the Teutonic army.
Well, the more like we have to get her past all the demoniacs that just slaughtered the Teutonic army.
Good point, Phoebe.
Yeah.
How long does she have?
But maybe
Can we
Club
assess
has made
that?
friends.
Maybe.
I think he's made
Maybe
plenty of
Club has made
friends.
Because actually,
what do you want to assess, Wythe?
if she dies and comes back, is there a way to assess, will she become a demoniac, or will she, like, does she have long enough for us to do this, or is she like imminently about to perish from being shot with arrows and become a
Make an
demoniac?
insight check for me.
Great, I would love to do that. I got an
This is
11.
Just like
Ooh.
Second
Oh my
at
God.
11.
That's incredible. You can tell that she has a little bit more time, but she's right on the edge of becoming a demoniac. Like maybe one more death, maybe two more. It's hard to say, but yeah, she's definitely close to losing herself to it for sure.
and as a piece of like world building thing, can a demoniac still receive true death, or is that
Yes.
no longer an option? Okay.
Yeah. Demoniac
So we
can
got
also
Clegg
receive
too.
true death.
You know,
Yeah.
granny style.
All right. I hoist her up.
Okay. Yeah, you hoist
Onto my
her.
back.
She's hoisted. Very
Great.
nice.
Piggyback style.
Also, grandmother.
Nice.
Oink, oink.
Sorry. hate to intrude, but is there like I want to ask her for advice on facing all the demoniacs we're gonna go through? Like, does she have any like can she activate the portal to make like a big burst of quintessence and kind of drive them out of the area? Like, is there anything that we can do here to clear our path since we're at a place of power?
It's a great question, Bolts.
Yeah.
Really good question.
Good question. Good question.
When you know these things when you're a
I
poet.
mean, any of you can activate the quintessence at this site, right? I mean, it wouldn't create like a portal or anything. I think that if you were to sing like loud enough and activate the quintessence like more strongly than she was capable of doing, given that she was very injured and just, you know, on the older side, it would probably attract demoniacs to the site because they are attracted to quintessence.
Sure. So it kind of would it have the opposite effect essentially that we're looking for?
Yeah, it would probably draw them to that position.
Great. Okay. Well, so in fact we can do nothing helpful. In fact, we should leave as quickly as possible since they are probably drawn here more than any other location once they have finished with our lovely Teutonic friends. So I vote we skedaddle.
Yep.
On the bright side, we might be able to go straight through the camp at this point.
Yeah.
Should be fairly cleared out.
Yeah, I mean, you can also try to skirt around the camp as well. Like, you don't have to go straight through it. You know, you were following the river before, kind of as the guide, but you could also just cut like straight north and go around. As another possibility.
Between my nose and the fact that it is now nighttime and I have +2 to all sight and perception checks, thanks to my Riddick eyes.
Is that why you have night vision? Is that why you chose to go?
Yeah, yes, that is why I have night vision.
Got it.
I got night vision, and that became the whole thing this character was based around, my guy. I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm making Riddick now.
Hell yeah. That's fantastic.
But between those two things, I feel like I'll know if we're getting close to any demoniacs in our path.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense. If you want to lead the party with your night vision, with your ability to navigate in the dark, and with your sweet pig nose. I don't know where that comes into Vin Diesel, but I like it. Yeah, I'd say if you want to lead the party, then I think that you would be able to basically navigate your way out of the forest and at least like get back to the valley just below the foothills of where your outpost of Astea is located. Partially fast forwarding for time, but also that all makes sense to me. I don't know. So yeah, I think here's what happens. You're able to navigate your way kind of like north. Maybe you have to cut west a little bit and then cut back east to make your way like around the encampment. Definitely like when you're within like earshot of the camp, you still hear this fight going on like hours later at this point, right? As you kind of picked your way through the woods. And you know, it's like,
I wonder how Kleb, can I see how Kleb is doing?
Yeah, do you want to make an insight check really quick and see if you can spot Kleb?
I'll make a perception check, see if I can't spot Kleb.
Can I do the same?
That's a 6.
I mean, you won't have the bonuses that Phoebe has because it's dark.
That's so fair.
Yeah, go for it.
Not even for my husband?
Not even for your husband.
That's a 5.
Okay. Okay, so Phoebe, you got a 6.
Yep.
Emily, you got a 5. Yeah, I'll give it to you on a 6. Yeah, you're able to pick out Kleb. In the interim, since you last saw him, his muzzle was torn off somehow, either from a soldier or maybe he was able to tear it off himself. His muzzle is torn off, and he is now like in the center of the camp. Like if you sneak in and kind of peek over some bushes, but he's like in the center of the camp, and he's got 2 Teutonic knights like by the ankles, and is just like swinging them around like great clubs, just knocking over other Teutonic knights, knocking over other demonites, just complete chaos. Like there's no telling friend from foe for Kleb. But yeah, he's just like clubbing people with knights wearing halberds.
Clubbing people, you mean?
He's clubbing people. Yes, thank you so much. I was hoping somebody would do that, so it wouldn't have to be me.
Hey.
Oh, he's so much
Yeah,
cooler than he was as
he's
a
clubbing
human.
hard. He's clubbing so hard.
God, I'm so fascinated by this relationship.
He was just the guy.
Maybe I think it maybe calls for
the
another
idea
session
of
where we
Urshka being
just
like,
unpack
God, my
this.
husband's so much cooler ever since he became a feral demon.
Do you know what the word chleb means? Does anyone know what it
Words.
means? It
Oh,
means
I feel like
bread.
I've made my stance on words clear, so no.
It means bread. Just
It means bread?
It means bread.
It's bread. No nobility there. His name is just bread.
So milquetoast.
Wow.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He was a man
That's
who did a bunch of odd jobs. I was the interesting one. I was the scientist. One day he got crushed by a tree,
Excellent.
turned into a demon immediately. Then he got so much cooler.
Crushed by tree.
Crushed by a tree, demon immediately. He tried his hand at logging and didn't know how to chop a tree properly. Like a fucking
He had no
idiot.
personality to begin with. Amazing. All right. So yeah, you see Kleb. He's clubbing. But yeah, you're able to make your way back north, and you make it back up just south of where Australia is, where your AUKUS is. And as you are kind of approaching, there's like a bit of a path that leads up that you can follow through the foothills, all of that good stuff. And as you're approaching the AUKUS, in this kind of like hilly, forested area, like I said, it's dark out. But I think Valmir, especially, you would spot this, right? You spot some torchlight coming from just up ahead of you. And as you get closer, we'll say maybe you're being a little bit sneaky or whatever, but as you get closer, you notice that the man that you were speaking to before, Vabalis, is outside of the AUKUS, even though it's like the dead of night at this point. And the big, bare-armed guy, the commander of the Teutonic Order, is also standing there speaking with him. He's flanked by two other Teutonic soldiers that are kind of at his side. And it looks like they're kind of shaking down Vabalis a little bit. And he's trying to like explain himself to these men, as you kind of come up behind. I'm assuming without a torch or anything because of Valmir's pitch black reference eyes. So they don't notice you as you're approaching. But yeah, you can hear Vabalis kind of being like, kind of apologizing and being like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know that these pilgrims that I had sent down there would cause any trouble. I thought you would just dispatch of them, and then we would be done with the whole thing. The village would see that I made an effort, but that Ludmilla was lost forever. You would have the AUKUS of the World Tree, and then I would be in charge here. It was such a simple plan. I don't understand how they could have screwed it up so much." And then, Neidhart, the captain of the Teutonic Order, in his kind of like gruff Prussian accent, is saying like, "This will not stand. We will now have to take your AUKUS as well. This was not a part of the deal. You had my men slaughtered. What were you thinking? Bringing these outsiders in on our affair." So yeah, basically you hear these two kind of co-conspiring together outside of the village. They're in the heat of it. They have not noticed you. And like I said, Neidhart, the captain of the Teutonic Order, is kind of flanked by two other soldiers that were with him. And you can tell like they got fucked up. Their cloaks are ripped, their tabards are all grimy, there's like blood all over them. You can tell that they had fought their way out of this huge melee that happened south of where you are. So yeah, they're a little bit worse for wear, but still knights, still armored up, still armed to the teeth. You're not far from the village at this point. So I leave it to you. What would y'all like to do in this situation? You basically just found out that Vabalis has betrayed you, has betrayed his village, and has betrayed the chief Druid who also kind of raised him. For what? I don't know.
Is Ludmilla awake? Did she hear any of this?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that she's awake. She's conscious at this point. Yeah.
How's
she
taking
her
it?
reaction, not great. Not great. I think that she basically is just going to start weeping, right? Like, this guy is effectively her child. She was kind of preparing him to take her place once she had passed. And I think, yeah, she's just like kind of like sobbing a little bit and just saying, "Oh, child, if only you had the patience to wait. If only you had waited a few more days. It all could have been yours, but you've ruined it. You've ruined everything." And I think, yeah, she would whisper in Valmir's ear. She'd say, "Now the Order knows where our village is. We're doomed."
Well, these guys suck.
I'm gonna like hoist her a bit off of my back. I pitch. Who wants to sneak Ludmilla into the village safely, and who wants to go fuck these guys up?
Brainstorming. No bad ideas.
I'm willing to do either. I can't sneak worth shit, but I also can't fight worth shit. So, but I'm willing to die. That is an essential part of my character.
Is this an either
That's
or?
what I appreciate about you.
We're not doing both. We're doing one, is what you're saying.
I mean, we could do both.
Feels like it would be
Feels
a
like
little
both.
counterproductive to sneak if we are also going to just fuck people up.
Right.
How
How many?
put Ludmilla
many-
down.
It's more like I don't want to rock up to a fight and have this guy see that we have Ludmilla
Oh no,
And
no,
then,
we have
like,
to.
do
have to.
something. Yeah,
Right. Are there
She's
a
in
lot
no
of
condition.
Teutons or just the boss? Like, how many?
There
Or,
are-
a couple
There are
lieutenants or whatever?
three.
Just
Yeah,
the
so
three.
there's
Okay.
there's
We can take 'em.
there's the captain
I
and
can
then
take
like
'em.
2 lieutenants basically that were able to escape from the demoniac attack.
It would make the most sense to give all of these people a true death. I mean, Ludmilla wants it, and the others, I think, have earned it. In the sense of, we don't want them running around.
That's a great way of putting that.
This is a true
that,
death.
that, that is the weird thing. Is like it's for people who suck super hard.
Right.
A true death is seen as a reward, and so it's like, it's like, is a true death a gift to you, or is it a gift to us?
Yeah,
We are technically old
Well,
one. We brought her back.
you did.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, and also again, we're running off of Constantine's setting from the Guide to the Abandoned World, and he does, I think, very wisely make a difference, right? So pious people, or people who like prove their worth, earn a true death, being allowed to die in a ritual sacrifice in an alka at the hands of an ordained druid. But the impious, blasphemers, and invaders are instead subjected to another more horrific fate. Their death is a sacrifice, but an imperfect one. Through drowning in a bog, smothering with smoke, or disembowelment, these wretches return to life bearing evidence of their horrific death, to be consumed by their burden until they can atone or be destroyed. So essentially, the justice that would be meted out is that, I don't know, did we lose Phoebe? Or just
So
I think
it's
she's
just
still
my
audio.
my camera is started going out. I feel like
Oh, weird.
You came back on. You're
But
back.
yes. Okay, great. But yeah, so
it's
basically,
just
the
like it's
justice
like
that
the
would be
browser
meted
is
out.
having a weird time.
But yeah, what would happen to these fools is that they would just be turned into demoniacs. They would be like drowned over and over again, or like sacrificed, all that kind of stuff.
Just speed running the
So-
process.
Yeah,
Yeah, just speed running the process, exactly.
Exactly.
chill. That's
Which
fun.
also might be interesting for some of your characters. But yeah, okay.
I find this
what
very
would y'all like to do? I think I think we've got like
Yeah.
one more scene, and then we should wrap it up because we're already.
We're
running out.
somewhere safe. We could drop off Ludmilla.
Silco and Pilcrow, do you want to escort Ludmilla to safety, and we'll take care of these three?
Well, I mean, as much as I think my character would want to do that, but above the table, I don't know. I might be useful in a fight. I don't know if you said you're not good at fighting, Lenny. Is Devlin?
No, I'm willing to die. I'm
Oh,
happy
you
to
want to
take
die
her.
though? Okay, okay.
No. Either way.
I was just
I
gonna
just
hit
think
I
we
think it's
have
gonna
it.
need all
over
four of
again.
us.
Yeah.
Like we can drop her.
I don't know.
somewhere
You said
safe,
these
like-
guys are already pretty bloodied from the previous fight.
Yeah,
it
but the
could
big
be
guy's
easier
there
than
too.
you think.
And
I
one
think we
is
just
completely
drop
unharmed.
Ludmilla and start attacking, right? And then we
Yeah.
just pick her back up after.
Sure,
She just
sure.
hangs it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what is she gonna do? Like,
We'll throw
Yeah.
some like bushes
I just-
over her.
yeah,
like
don't want
see
anyone
what
to
we
go
need.
find,
for
like-
her while we're
Yeah.
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 You
She's
find
not
a
gonna
nice
crawl
tree
away and
stump to rest her
crochet
up
something when
against.
we're not looking.
Yeah.
If anyone likes, she's
That's
already
fine.
dead. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. Are we
Let's
doing
go
it?
for
Are
others.
we
Yeah, let's
rolling
go.
initiative
Let's go for it.
one last
Yeah,
time
let's
here?
do it.
Yep.
All right, great. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
finesse.
in this instance, they have not
Mhm.
noticed you. So what I'm going to do, yeah, we'll roll initiative. I'm going to roll their initiative with disadvantage because they haven't noticed you. But otherwise, yeah, just roll finesse for me and let me know what you got.
We don't get. So there's no ambush. we just get
Continuing the
advantages.
tradition
Okay.
of me rolling absolute shit on finesse. That's a 3.
Okay.
That's a 10.
I got a 5.
That's my max.
I will also burn 3 grit to make some more haze. I just let them go. All right,
Okay.
let's smoke them.
All right. Linnie, what did you get on your initiative roll?
2.
2?
Yeah. So anyone who's dodging gets +1 for the next 10 minutes.
Including
Gotcha.
NPCs or just us?
It does include NPCs.
It does say
that are within-
anyone.
Okay.
Well,
That's
whoops.
fine. No, it's like a Scooby Doo. Oops, someone cuts the lights. You know, yeah, we're all scared.
Yeah. All right, 1 second. Just getting this stat going.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I mean, these folks are still. Yeah, these folks are still deliberating. You know, Needhart, the kind of captain of the Teutonic Order, is like yelling at the Valis. No one has attention turned on you. They're just trying to like figure out what's going on and also figure out who is to blame. Marushka, you are first up. You see these folks arguing. They have not paid attention. What would you like to do?
Yeah. Above the table, does anyone have ranged weapons?
That's
No.
all I got.
I have a sling, but I'm much better up close.
Cool. Awesome. I'm also better up close. I think I'm going to use my virtue of patience from my black bile humor, and I'm going to choose to go last in the initiative order. So if I do this, I can
Gotcha.
make all checks during my first turn of combat with advantage.
Ooh.
Very good.
So I'm going to go from first in the initiative order to last.
Okay, I love it. Valmir, what would you like to do in this moment where they're not paying attention to you?
I am going to very casually walk up behind one of the little guys, or not little guy, but like, you know, that just I want to, and I'm gonna roll an unarmed attack against them, just like no fanfare, just rock up, do my thing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's go.
And so is that like, as I roll vitality to hit and then damage, or is it like I just rolled damage?
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll roll just your vitality score alone to see if you hit.
Okay.
If that is successful, basically in this instance, you just have to get a 2 or better. They're not going to dodge.
It's an 8.
Okay, great. So you hit, and then yeah, you roll damage, which is
Then,
again your
yeah.
vitality plus whatever the die assigned for that is. What's up?
First of all, I rolled a 6 on that d6, so I'm going to give myself an extra grit.
Go for it.
And that is 16 total damage.
Oh
Shit.
shit!
which
Okay, so
I
you
would
were doing
assume just
this-
kind of eviscerates this guy.
Yeah. You're doing this to
I'm gonna kinda, like-
one of the lesser.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
point
gonna
of clarity,
kind
you're
of
doing this to
grab
one of the
him.
lesser Teutonic Order guards, right?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
All right. I'm just gonna kind of like grab him one hand on each side and just start pulling. And there's like a little bit of resistance at first, and then just rip him physically in half.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
gonna drop each half onto the ground as I'm guessing kind of like everyone sort of just like looks to see what the fuck has just happened, and just go, did not know who he was fucking with.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I mean, you did more than enough damage, so I'll allow it. You ripped this man in half somehow. Just your pure, unadulterated, murderous strength. This is what you got you in the clink. This is why they need guards
He's
to
got
watch
like
you.
split mouth, right? He's got the Maleficia of split mouth.
Yeah.
So-
Yes,
It just makes it that much
that's it.
easier. Just makes it that much. He has
It's
a
just like
domino
one
mouth, and it
one
opens
hand in
vertically.
either side of the mouth, just like.
Oh my god, that's horrifying. Yeah, you rip this guy apart. Immediately, Vabalis just starts screaming, right? Like, he's never seen anything like this in his life. And I would pray that none of us ever do. But yeah, no, he just starts screaming. I think that he probably just loses his composure entirely. And, the other Teutonic Order soldier, this other soldier, and Needhart both, I think likewise, maybe to a lesser degree, but they're both like, oh my god, what the hell? As they see, like, you just come up behind, grab this guy by his abdominal mouth and rip him open. Yeah, I mean, they're all losing their shit. They have no idea what's happening. I think that you have probably completely shocked them with this.
I am imagining
insane
Valbus
sneak
just
attack.
doing the like faint.
Yeah, just completely like dropping like a sack of bricks, right? Well, that's crazy. Cool. Silkrow and Pilcrow, you just watched Valmir run up behind one of these soldiers, reach around them, and rip them in half outward. Whoa. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm very shaken, but I don't know. I feel like I'm still motivated to attack the leader with a sling.
Sure.
But we'll see. Maybe that shakes me somewhat. So if I fail, I think it's because of that. It's not because I'm bad at slinging. It's only because I was disturbed by the in half ripping, which is it's just not something you see every day in merry old.
It's deeply understandable to be upset by that.
All right, I'm gonna roll insight to attack, and I got an 11. Again, I've rolled 3 11s this game. This is
Incredible.
Wow.
probably the best
That's
rolling.
wild.
My NPCs were rolling straight ones last night when I was GM, but so if they can
And
dodge
last
that
week when
11,
you were GM.
oh yeah, or roll,
Incredible.
whatever.
Well, he cannot dodge. He cannot dodge that 11. I did have him burn grit to dodge. He has a D6 in his finesse score, so that line.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to burn grit. He's just fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, he just gets hit. So roll damage for us. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll D6 plus D insight, and because I have lead bullets, this inflicts stun 2, so there's a chance of stun. And because I'm a physician, I can burn 8 grit to inflict double damage, which I'm 100% going to do. So I'm going to go down to 11 grit. And whatever happens here, I'm going to just multiply by 2. Oh my god, I rolled a 6 total. A 4 and a 2. So 12 damage, stun 2 to the leader.
Let me roll for the stun. Okay, so he's not stunned. However, he's not quite dead, but he is at death's door. Would you like to narrate what happens to him when you just like wail on him with this sling bullet?
I think the expression does go back to the 14th century. So when I see the in half ripping, I've aimed to hit him like dead in the eyes, like one hit kill Goliath style, and instead I say the classic line, "Oh fuck." And then release it like a little early, and it like beans him on the temple, kind of. So it's like concussed him, but he's alive. So there's like just like a maybe
Yeah.
a bruise or rivulet of blood, but it would have like straight up iced him. Like this
Yeah.
guy spends probably an equal amount of time studying Turkish. He never did any of the Christian stuff. He just did the reading stuff. So he learned Latin, learned Turkish, learned Arabic, and like just like spends a lot of time trying to hit pigeons from the rectory window with a sling. There's just like a mound of dead pigeons. You know, you see like 18-year-old Silkrow before Silkrow and Pilkrow just. Anyway, it was bad. It was bad.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, he's not wearing a helmet. Like you said, you know, it beams him in the side of the head. You just immediately, in the moonlight, you see, there's like a welt that just like appears, like in an anime when someone gets punched in the head and they immediately have like a grapefruit sized, like ball on their head. It's basically like that. You just see it come out of nowhere. It's bruised, little rivulet of blood kind of coming down his face. He is not dead from that, but he did take quite a hit. And I think, you know, he's staggered. He's having a hard time kind of keeping everything straight. But it is his opportunity to move. And so, yeah, I mean, I think he's just going to lash out at the closest person to him, which is Valmir. And, you know, like maybe he like spun around a bit from this sling bullet hitting him in the head. He's trying to get his composure. And he just kind of like blindly swipes out with his massive bare arm. He has this ursine arm, right? Which is tipped with these incredibly large, sharp claws. So yeah, that is going to be coming at Valmir. I'm going to roll to hit. Valmir, if you would like to Phoebe, if you would like Valmir to dodge, you have to burn 2 grit, and then you would just roll finesse, and we'll see who gets higher.
All right.
And you get
the other options to just like take the hit.
Yeah. Oh, and you do have well, I think Valmir is probably outside of close range from where you are right now, Lenny.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I'll burn 2 grit.
Yeah.
Well, it's higher than everything else I've rolled on a D8 so far, but that's not saying much. It's a 4.
What'd you get with? Okay.
No.
All right. Not quite enough then. So you are going to take some damage unless you have DR.
I do have DR.
Okay. How much DR do you have? How much DR do you have, Phoebe?
3.
3. Got it. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen for a second. I was doing some math. Okay, right on. So yeah, he lashes out with this giant bear claw, and he does end up clipping you with it. I think, you know, it's probably like a slash kind of like across the upper chest. And even if you're wearing some armor or have something that can block a little bit of that damage, after your DR, you're still going to take 11 points of damage. Even just like the pure like bludgeoning force of this incredibly strong arm hitting you in the chest is still enough to like crush you quite a bit. And then he also has bleed 5 on that. It's level 3. Okay. I actually rolled a 6 on that, so you don't take bleed damage, which is crazy. So yeah, I'd say this bear arm just like crushes your chest when it hits you. And with that, Devlet, you see your friend getting mauled by a bear man after getting concussed by your other friend. After your other friend, who's being attacked by the bear man, rips somebody in half. What would you like to do?
I think I'm going to take out my dagger and sort of pat the back of my head and say, "This one's for you." And then try to stab the bear man.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you run up to them to attack with the
I'm gonna
dagger with a
burn-
blade weapon.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to roll finesse to attack with.
Yes. I'm going to burn 6 grit for that roll and
Great.
add that to that roll.
Let's do it.
Finesse. Yes, that's a 6. So that's a 12.
Very nice. I mean, yeah, he can't dodge that, so he's just going to have to take whatever you dish out. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, d4 plus finesse.
He does have significant DR, but it's still possible to
Love that.
get past that.
Oh no, I have a Quillian dagger specifically, so I ignore DR.
Oh, even better. Okay, yeah, just roll your straight damage then. Let's do this.
That is a 9.
Okay.
Damn.
How do you get past? So he's wearing like a chainmail halberd. Like I said, one of the arms is sleeveless to facilitate his huge, crushing, clawing bear arm. How do you find a chink in his armor? How do you get in there? Because this does end it for him. So narrate. Let us know what happens.
What do I do? Okay, so he's got chainmail, he's got a halberd, he's got a big hand. I think as he goes to swing this hand, I think it's probably overbalanced him, and he spins around, and as the back of his head is revealed, I think I just like take the dagger and stab it down into like the exposed space between the back of his neck and his halberd.
Yeah.
And then, see, that's why you should invest in a second face.
You could have seen it coming.
There we go. That's the line. You could have seen it coming.
That's fantastic. I mean, I think, yeah, you should invest in a second face is very funny. Yeah, great. I mean, yeah, you drive this dagger down into the I don't know why this is coming to mind, the negative space in his armor, like it's an illustration.
The gaps.
So that's all I do. Yeah, in the gap in his armor. And yeah, you're able to make contact. The dagger drives in deep into the flesh of his neck, down into his lung, and he screams out for a second before the air leaves his lungs through the puncture and just like falls to the ground. He like falls onto his knees and then down onto his face, kind of dragging you and your dagger along with him as he just face plants. I think with that, let's see if this last guy even sticks around. Probably not, if I had to guess. Okay. Yeah, I think with that, Devlet. So next in the initiative order anyway was our next Teutonic Order Knight. But he just watched his boss get absolutely eviscerated. Well, first of all, he watched his friend get ripped open. Bad start. He then watched his boss instantly get a concussion, followed up by a lethal stabbing to the back of the neck. So this guy wants nothing to do with any of this, right? Like, he was attacked by demoniacs today. He was just having a nice camp day. He was camping 30 of his bros in the woods, hanging out, and then everything got fucked up. So he's just going to try to book it. He's going to get out of here. It's up to y'all if you want to try to do anything to stop him. But he is going to burn 4 grit and take the flee basic power. So he's booking it. He's running. Up to y'all if you want to try to do anything about that.
Go, Marushka. Use him for science.
Am I up next in the initiative order?
You technically are, yeah. Vabalis, I said narratively that he is collapsed, so he's out of the initiative order. But yeah, so you're technically up. But this is more of like just a free action thing. Just like, does anybody want to do anything as he's breaking away? Kind of just a free attack or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll try to trip him.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
if I'm near.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So if I'm nearby, I try to trip him. I just don't know where he is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, he's basically standing right next to you, right? This has all happened in less than 6 seconds, all of this. So, like, this guy has barely moved as you have eviscerated his friends.
I'm also happy to just kind of, like, grab him by his shirt and just kind of, like, hold him up, little feet dangling.
Yeah.
Do that, too, yeah.
If you want to kill him,
yeah,
I would try to just like fucking hit him with it.
I feel like I'm trying not to kill him. Like, I think we want him alive.
I, more than anything, want to see what Marushka would do to him.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Great.
Is there a way in which we would just redirect him toward Marishka? Like, literally grab him, like, grab his head and just go like, boop, and then he runs. Just like redirect his run.
We could try it, sure. I think, yeah, Phoebe, if you want to like grab him and try to redirect him.
Swivel!
This is some cartoon shit right here.
Make a vitality check for me. Let's see if
I'll
you can do
do
that. I am gonna. Okay, great. And I am gonna have him try to dodge this. So
okay,
yeah,
I did roll a 3 on that d12. So
okay.
So that would be a 4 with the aid action helping you out there.
Yeah.
He rolled a 6 to dodge that, so he's gonna kind of like duck and jive and
Technically,
kind of,
it's a 7
just get
too.
out of the way.
What's his speed display?
Wait again.
run him down.
I said technically it's a 7. He's still in my area of effect.
Oh, true. Yeah. Because of the haze. Yes.
He won't be once he starts running.
Hell yeah!
I will say, Marushka, you can catch up with him for sure.
Get his ass.
So, like, he definitely escapes this attempt to redirect or to hold him.
Mm-hmm.
He's running off. Marushka, last initiative step. If you can't hit him from here, then he's just gone. But up to you. What would you like to do?
Yeah. So originally, I really wanted to go after Valabas or Vabalis and have a little moment there. But since he's like, passed out, well, I'll get there. Marushka sees this guy running away and she's kind of like sucks in her teeth, paws the ground with her goat hooves and says, all right. She runs after him using her full 100 feet of movement to get in front of him before he can even like really see her coming.
Nice.
And just points her collige right in his face and says, so you're going to be a traitor and a coward? I think not. Stand and die right here. And she's just going to attack with the collige.
Yeah, go for it. I'm going to give you advantage because that was cool as hell.
Oh, I already have
he's
it.
Like, whoa, what the fuck? Oh, great.
Because I used my virtue of patience, so we already got advantage.
That's right.
If you want to give me double, then sure.
I'll give you double. Roll 3. Take the highest.
Okay, that's a 1.
Not that one.
That's a 2. That's another 2.
Oh my god. Okay, well I'm gonna roll to dodge for him. If he gets a 2 or a 1, you do hit him.
Yeah, so fair.
Rolled a 2.
This is devastating.
Hey!
And pilgrims win on ties.
Oh my god.
Yeah, against all odds. He rolled a 2. So no, roll for damage.
Sure, sounds good. All right, that's going to be 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage.
The D10 still rolled another 1.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know.
That is actually enough to take him out, though.
Hell yeah. I think just for flavor.
What happens?
Yeah, I think for flavor, like he kind of tries to dodge, and I think she kind of like catches him by the shoulder as he's like trying to sidestep her, and then she just takes the collige and just slits it across his neck, like immediately just cutting the jugular and lets him drop.
That's insane. That's insane. Mariska is so scary. Yeah. Y'all are so much scarier than anything I planned for
She's
this.
5 foot tall.
I love her.
She's 5 foot tall.
Fantastic.
Looks like a goat.
Wait, I'm sorry. What do you mean you were thinking they were going to be scary? And there was a scientist with demon husband on chain and Riddick.
I only found out the Riddick thing today. I only found out the Riddick thing today. I knew about Mariska going into it. The Riddick thing was new. And then I knew that there were 2 wimpy poets as well. So I was like, well, anything's going to be terrifying. Nope, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. And I'm sorry for underestimating how scary all of you are. I should have known better.
Chris, we
should
played
have.
a whole campaign where I was just scary shit
I
trying to
know.
kill you. Come on now.
I know.
I mean, the thing that got the closest was food poisoning.
True.
That's true.
I was
yeah,
not that.
Yeah. Rest
That
in
was
peace,
just the dice, my
Killian.
dude.
All right, let's wrap this up. We've gone way over. I'm sorry for holding y'all here, but thank you so much for soldiering on.
Pilgriming.
Pilgriming on, yes. How do you want to wrap this up? You've got Vabalis at your feet. You have grandmother Ludmilla resting on a tree back in the background. Hopefully she didn't see people getting eviscerated and murdered in front of her, but who knows? It's kind of up to y'all. I mean, y'all hold all the power. What would you like to do?
I feel like in the interest of wrapping it up, I think we're just like Ludmilla, like maybe just like asking Ludmilla what she wants, being like, do you want us to slit his throat here or like dump all the bodies in the village? Like give us some guidance. Because I mean, hopefully she didn't see the evisceration, but she's also like 70 and has lived a life in this current world for a shit ton. So like, I think she's hard enough, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, she's going to ask you, I mean, first of all, to take her to the spring, for sure. But also to, maybe bind Vabalis as well as these Teutonic knights who you have slain and bring them into the village. I think, Valmir, you are either going to have new roommates or you will be set free for a time to make room for them. While Vabalis and these Teutonic knights await trial, basically, before they are ritualistically sacrificed in a marsh.
So, I think Valmir, as the, they're sort of taking Ludmilla into the town. The Teutonic knights in the area have been slaughtered, and both figureheads of the village are seem to be imminently headed for some manner of true death. And I think as he's sort of starting to watch you guys like lead Ludmilla inside the gates, I think maybe one of you like Marushka looks back and you just see Valmir kind of like, and then like just starts walking backwards into the forest.
Yes.
She gives him a little nod of understanding. She wouldn't say a goddamn word.
Oh man,
I think
that's
incredible.
That's so Riddick.
I think
it's so Riddick.
I think, yeah, God, you nailed it, Phoebe. I think Devlet like grabs the arm of Silkro and Pilcrow and is just like, so, next lesson on being a great poet. You must make an entrance, but also a great exit. Now, between you and me, is anyone in there going to pay us?
I really doubt it. They seem to not have a lot to begin with. I don't know if you've noticed. I think they'd probably pay us in chickens or something. I can't really hold more chickens. I've still got all this herbal water and all your writing instruments.
So, seems like we should just. We're gonna wrap this up and go. So I think we also just like leave the village.
We Homer Simpson into a different bush. From
to a different,
just like two different Kool-Aid man holes in the shrubs showing where.
As we get into the bush, yeah. I turn to Silkro and Pilcrow and I'm like, "Did you have the torch?"
Oh, fuck. No, don't have any.
What about
my God, that's such a good callback.
It's such a good callback. We're like lost in the woods with no way to make fire, but we have plenty of vellum and medicine.
So somewhere in the woods, Valmir is just like got the most beautiful roaring fire.
2 torches, baby.
Oh, incredible.
Oh my God. What's Marushka doing? Are you also fading off into the night?
Yeah, I think she sticks around the village for a little bit, and she makes sure that Grandmother Ludmilla is, kind of set back up, that she's okay with everything that's going on, and that she kind of has a plan moving forward. She doesn't want to like leave her, completely bereft. She's not that heartless, and she also just kind of waits for. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, I'd say, yeah, I think Ludmilla. There are other Druid that are around, right? And so, yeah, I think she'd be able to pick out another successor, another heir apparent, even though Vivalis is now, going to be drowned over and over again in the swamp.
Mhm. Yeah, I think like before she kind of starts making her way, she'll just say like, "I wish you luck on your journey, whatever your next pilgrimage might be."
Very nice. Yeah, I think Ludmilla takes your hand and pats it, says, "Thank you, my dear. Good luck finding your demoniac husband in the wilderness."
Oh, thanks. He's got my scent. He'll find me soon. He always does. The good ones always come back.
Yeah. Very nice.
And as
All
you
right.
see her kind of like walking out of the village into the woods, you can see like a tall, sort of lumbering form, newly reformed from splayed uh, little bits of meat and flesh, kind of lumbering alongside her. Happy to be reunited again.
Very nice. Beautiful. Yeah, we'll leave it there. You have rescued Ludmilla. She is going to have a true death. She has selected a new heir apparent, and the Teutonic Order presumably has been completely slaughtered by both yourselves and demoniacs, so the Alcus is safe for now. Thank you so much, y'all, for playing tonight. This was very fun. Again, sorry we ran so far over, but I appreciate you pilgriming on, like we said. Right here at the end, where can people find Twice Rolled Tales? What are your pluggables?
Yeah, you can find us at Twice Roll Tales everywhere, mostly Instagram and YouTube. YouTube is where we post all of our live actual play stuff. We actually have a really exciting one coming out on Thursday, which is Keep the Lights On. It is a 10 Candles AP that we filmed in the actual woods. And it has some original music, and it's generally dope as heck, and I'm very excited for people to see it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Emily, Phoebe, anything to add
Oh my
there?
god.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick as fuck. We just watched through kind of it today. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
We
it's
also
actually really
publish
good.
games. So if you
Mhm.
want to like, bring some more games to your own table, we also do that. And just happy to support our friends here. So yeah, check us out.
Yeah, it was the real
Yeah.
woods, actual real woods.
The,
Um,
the real
and
ass
fun
woods.
fact, we
You
had
can also
no.
see Chris in our channel
That's true.
on Morrigan Trail, which recently won
Mhm.
Best Ensemble Cast. Thank you, Chris.
Yes,
Hey,
Yeah.
no,
Chris.
thank you. Thank you.
And
And you
we
can
Twice
also
Rolled
see
had
Tales
Wythe
specific.
in a episode of our Tabletop Gone Mad series. That's
Yes.
a game that we published as well. Yeah, you can see both. I think actually, yeah, both Chris and Wythe
and then we
in that one.
had
Yeah,
another AP that also came
great.
out, which we just filmed on the New York City subway, The Last Train to Bremen, The Last
Yes.
Train to
Last
Brooklyn
Train to Brooklyn.
AP.
Yeah. Which also award-winning AP. Congratulations.
Yes. Yeah.
Incredible.
Otherwise, fantastic to be here. Yeah, thanks for having us. Loved our weird little guys. They were so weird and so
Yeah.
guy.
Thanks
10 out of
for
10.
making very weird little guys.
It has been the dream of my life to just become Vin Diesel for a few hours.
Glad.
That's
I'm
why
glad
we
you were
all
able
make
to
games,
express
right?
yourself. Yeah, that's why we do it. This crazy thing called game design. Fantastic. Yeah, thanks
Love
again,
it.
y'all, for playing with us. Thanks, folks, for watching/listening. Please go to stillfleet.com/dance, DANSE, to support the Kickstarter campaign, and in the future, late backer stuff, all that stuff that we have to figure out. But yeah, Danse Macabre is live on Kickstarter. We are funded. We are trying to get our stretch goals unlocked. So help us out. Share with your friends. Check out the game
More
if you like
weird
what we played
guys.
through tonight. Make some weird guys. Be a weird medieval guy. It's very fun. Wythe, anything else?
Yeah, just so thanks so much again, Twice Rolled Tales, and everyone, please back the Kickstarter. It is really make or break for us, and we're very close to unlocking a stretch goal of the original soundtrack, which is all dungeon synth. So working with some bands Chris knows that are all really lovely, I've been able to enjoy discovering, and our buddy Will Savino, who we're actually speaking to tomorrow on Why We Roll. Also this week, we're supporting our friends at Kickstarter United, the union that powers Kickstarter. So do check out on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So right back here on the stream, we're doing a special one-off with some folks from Kickstarter United to really support their efforts and raise awareness and solidarity. There's no boycott, there is a strike, and so it very much affects them. but it's something I think all creators who've been able to make any kind of living or any headway on Kickstarter should be interested and should learn more about and support. And then this Sunday, we're excited to play with our friends from Fun City, a really excellent, actual play podcast that has featured some of our work in the past. So we're really excited to have three of our friends from that show playing Danse Macabre. So that's just a one-off. So this whole series of streams, we're really grateful to Twice Rolled Tales, the Maniculum, everyone who's come out, because it's great to play with different folks and see different settings and different kinds of pilgrims. And one thing I will emphasize just as a little final note here is if you're on the fence or anything, I mean, it's really easy. You don't have to know history. A lot of it, like I said, you can make up or Google. I've found players think they don't know anything about history, but I think you know more about real history than any given lore, unless you're really into mega IP. But in terms of any given game you're playing, you know less about that game than you do about even medieval Lithuania just by dint of it's a real place. So it's super fun, and it's just great to see different people's takes. So thanks again to Linnie, Emily, and Phoebe, and we'll be back on Thursday and then again on Sunday and the Sunday after that. So that's the end of the campaign. So please, if you have any ability to support Chris's work, our work, do check it out and just consider historical gaming. And with that, everyone have fun, and we release you. Thanks, Vex and Taylor.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Twice Roll.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye. Bye, y'all.